and Europe is tied up because of Pakistan closing its airspace after claiming to have shot down 2 Indian military jets that crossed into Pakistani territory. An Indian pilot has been captured. The other plane crashed in Indian territory. This is Fox News.
Skies are clear this morning. A brilliant golden moon is in the east this morning, 12 degrees. At 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A 17-year-old boy this morning is charged with the murder of a Northside college prep student in Chicago. Chicago police tell us the teen was arrested yesterday on the Northwest Side after being identified as the person who shot and killed 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. The victim was gunned down Monday while riding in a vehicle in the 4400 block of West Addison. That suspect is due in bond court today. Chicago police are looking for a man who posed as an Uber driver trying to lure children outside of a school on the north side. Students at Elcott College Prep East were at recess when the suspect pulled up in a minivan, waving at kids and telling them he was their Uber driver and telling them to get in the car. The students smartly went to get help from staff members as the suspect drove off. 4 crew members on an Alaska Airlines flight from Chicago to Seattle are hospitalized after a strange odor sickened more than a dozen on the aircraft. Flight was diverted to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Wednesday as people started to report breathing issues. Other passengers were examined after the landing and put on another flight to Seattle. Tony Preckwinkle and Lori Lightfoot are hitting the campaign trail hard before they face off in an April 2nd runoff to decide who will be the next mayor of Chicago. Preckwinkle immediately touting her experience while courting voters.
I have both local government experience and management experience at a large unit of government, and I think that those are things that will appeal to the voters.
Preckwinkle and Lightfoot were the top 2 vote getters in Tuesday's election. Whoever wins that runoff will be the first African-American female elected mayor of Chicago. Meantime, a group of several aldermen are headed for April 2nd runoff elections. At least 10 aldermen failed to win 50% of the vote in Tuesday's election, including 40th Ward Alderman Pat O'Connor, who is the second longest-serving alderman. A 4-year-old girl is dead, 2 others hurt following a fire in west suburban Aurora. Authorities say the blaze broke out yesterday in a 4-unit townhome in the 1800 block of Carnation Court. 4-year-old died while a woman and 5-month-old girl were hospitalized with smoke inhalation and burns, later treated at Loyola University Medical Center. The cause of that fire is under investigation. Health officials are confirming a child has died from the flu in Chicago. It is the first influenza-related pediatric death in Cook County and the 3rd in the state so far. Further details about the victim have not been released. News of the death comes as nearly 200 students at South Middle School in Arlington Heights were out sick yesterday with the flu. Health officials are investigating a mumps outbreak in McHenry County. Officials are trying to determine whether there is a connection between the 8 cases that have been diagnosed so far, 6 of them at the Arising Church in Crystal Lake, 2 at the McHenry County Jail in Woodstock. Health officials say all of them are men. Health Department officials say the only connection they're aware of is the church does ministry work at that facility, so that is under current investigation to see whether they're actually linked. A Wisconsin man has been indicted for allegedly causing the death of an Illinois state trooper who was helping victims in a multi-vehicle highway crash. Cook County prosecutors are accusing 61-year-old Scott Larson of Kenosha with causing the accident on the Tri-State Tollway near Northbrook that claimed the life of 34-year-old Trooper Christopher Lambert. Authorities say a suburban Chicago man had not only been drinking alcohol but using crack cocaine for 4 days when he drove into a 17-year-old girl as she crossed the street near Downers Grove North High School. She later died. Joseph Kucharski of Naperville is charged with aggravated driving under the influence and reckless homicide for the death of Elizabeth Dunlap. This morning, Sinclair Broadcast Group believes the Cubs' new regional sports network will be an unbelievable cash cow. Sinclair president and CEO Chris Ripley says he expects the so-called Marquee Sports Network, that may be the final name, to generate up to $50 million annually for the Maryland-based broadcaster. The network launches in 2020. It will be the exclusive television home of the Cubs. Patrick Kane scored the game winner with just seconds remaining, lifting the Blackhawks to a 4-3 win over the Ducks in Anaheim. Blackhawk goalie Corey Crawford back between the pipes and says he'll take the win in spite of making some mistakes.
It's nice to come away with a win after making two big mistakes like that, and our guys be able to come back and score those goals. So definitely take this first one. And
Alex DeBrincat, the Cat, 2 goals. Artem Anisimov also lit the lamp for the Hawks. Now 5 points out of a wild card spot in the West with 63. Zach LaVine scored a game-high 30. Bulls edged the Grizzlies 109-107 in Memphis. Lauri Markkanen, a double-double. Otto Porter Jr. added 20 points. Carson Edwards had a game-high 23. Purdue over the Fighting Illini in West Lafayette. Elsewhere in college hoops, DePaul lost to Georgetown in the Valley. Loyola trimmed Northern Iowa 56-55. They have one of the top seeds now in the Valley tournament. Illinois State beat Missouri State. SIU trimmed Evansville, and Bradley hammered Valparaiso. Spring baseball, Cubs a victory over the Rangers, Reds over the White Sox. The news service of Boost Mobile. With the money you save by switching to Boost Mobile, you'll have more freedom to spend your hard-earned tax return on other stuff. Switch today and get 4 lines each with unlimited gigs for just $100 a month. Plus, get 4 free phones. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
And you know my beverage of choice is tequila.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Per doctor's orders, no lie. I went in to have a doctor's appointment a couple years ago, telling my doctor about my tummy, my gut issues. He said, how about tequila? He said, tequila's better for your stomach. And swear to God, true story. Now, that was about 2 years ago. Son of a gun, I love it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
You probably don't realize this, but between you and your employer, you've contributed as much as 12.4% of your earnings to Social Security, and you've been doing this since your very first paycheck as a kid. Add it up over 40 or 50 years, and it could make your 401k contributions look like chump change. But there's one big problem. Claiming your Social Security benefits is complicated, confusing, and riddled with trapdoors. Hi, this is Tom Fortino. According to PBS and Boston University professor Lawrence Kotlikoff, the Social Security Handbook has 2,278 separate rules governing its benefits, and it has thousands upon thousands of explanations of those rules. Talk about a user's nightmare. Learn how you can help get what's yours. The answers are in our new reports on maximizing your Social Security benefit. It includes little-known strategies that could earn you tens of thousands of dollars more, even as much as $100,000 over your lifetime. This could be a game changer. Call right now to receive this information. 630-519-4742. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc. When you hire a new employee, do you really know who you're hiring? What if you could do thorough research on potential employees and avoid future HR conflicts and trouble? It may sound like a daunting task, but with ETS Intelligence LLC, it's easy to get all the info on a potential hire. ETS is one of the leading private detective and security agencies in the U.S. Their client roster includes major law firms, insurance companies, high net worth individuals, and more. Our world can be a dangerous place to live and do business in. ETS Intelligence makes you safe by specializing in complex and high-tech investigations, background checks, computer forensics, surveillance, forensic accounting, and more. Let ETS Intelligence be the vetting intelligence agency for your company or business. They also provide personal security services. ETS Intelligence LLC, owned and operated by experienced active duty law enforcement. Call toll-free 800-230-7429. 800-230-7429.
Want to recharge when you travel for business? Get a Boost and stay at La Quinta by Wyndham. You can charge 5 devices in room and recharge yourself with a pillow top mattress and a bright side breakfast. Book now at lq.com and win at business.
5:11. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 traffic center and the latest with Jim Talamonte.
On the Kennedy Expressway outbound, overnight construction has wrapped up and traffic is now moving well between Bryn Mawr and Sayre, where we had some earlier delays. Inbound traffic is also cruising along nicely. Some exit ramps have reopened. It's 20 minutes either way between O'Hare and downtown. Inbound Eisenhower, once again, there is access to downtown via the Ike and Ida B. Wells Drive. Traffic had been forced off the outbound Kennedy or outbound Ryan during the overnight hours. The Ike 2 is cleared up now. No delays to report. Eden's all good. No delays yet on the Stevenson or the Ryan. Traffic moves along okay at I-57 Bishopport Freeway. Tollways are just fine. No problems in Northwest Indiana. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, cloudy and cold. A few flurries this afternoon. High 29. Clouds tonight and tomorrow. Low tonight 19. High tomorrow 36. Clouds on Saturday. The high at 32. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
12 at O'Hare. 17 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So next time President Trump goes shopping for a fixer, he may want to upgrade from the Michael Cohen model to the Michael Clayton.
Yeah.
Because the Michael Cohen model didn't turn out so well for the president. Yes, he's a convicted liar and fraudster and general bottom feeder. But
he tries to be a good guy.
But
my
yeah,
parents raised me to be a good man. I'm sorry if I disappointed you, Mom and Dad.
It was not exactly Mark Antony and Julius Caesar. I came here not to praise Donald Trump, but to bury him. But it was more of a Shakespearean farce. But that's not to say that Michael Cohen didn't provide some utility for Democrats. Cohen, and again, he read the statement at the outset that we knew was coming. So all of this overheated, breathless coverage and the associated chyrons on CNN and MSNBC and the rest about bombshells and this and that. Well, it's not a bombshell if it's already been reported. It's not a bombshell if you have a transcript of what he's going to say, and then he just goes ahead and says it.
You're following along the script. That's what I was doing.
But I thought, just to begin at the end, Michael Cohen's clothes. Did you catch this? Michael Cohen on 2020. You know, the whole Michael Cohen testimony, the whole hearing, Lanny Davis orchestrated, according to Jim Jordan, was about, the redemptive story of Michael Cohen. You're supposed to dismiss the fact that he's a convicted perjurer because this is his redemption story. He's admitted it. Now he's coming clean as a make good. And then he says at the end, not only for past sins, but to prevent future bad happenings in America. Because if Trump wins in 2020...
Given my experience working for Mr. Trump, I fear that if he loses the election in 2020, that there will never be a peaceful transition of power. And this is why I agreed to appear before you today.
This is why.
Oh, really? That's why?
Why is Michael Cohen here? He is here to prevent a dictatorial takeover of the United States by Donald Trump in 2020.
Oh, the hyperbole.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Now that you know that Michael Cohen appeared only to preserve our republic, only to make America safe again from the authoritarian impulses of Donald Trump, would you like to revise and extend your considerations of Michael Cohen?
And the reason why he didn't testify earlier, I mean, nobody brought up the shoulder surgery, by the way, which I thought was strange. Like, oh, you look great. But he said it's because of his safety. because he fears that Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani will physically hurt his family.
What do you think he can do to you?
A lot. And it's not just him. It's those people that follow him in his rhetoric.
What is a lot?
I don't know. I don't walk with my wife if we go to a restaurant or we go somewhere. I don't walk with my children. I make them go before me because I have fear, and it's the same fear that I had before.
Are you also hearing voices? Hello.
So I just want to understand
I watched
something.
2 hours of it and I was laughing.
I just want to understand something. So you fear for your physical safety,
Mm-hmm.
so you have your wife and children serve as human shields. Is that what I understand? They walk in front of me in case somebody takes a shot.
Yeah, so it'd go through, penetrate them first, and maybe I might get if it's a through wound, I might get hit. I mean, it was so.
Woo.
He was, and then at times he was crying. I watched about, again, I think maybe 3 hours of it, and was just shocked that they'd even let him have this platform, because clearly this was a partisan issue. Clearly, this was just a trash bashing fest that didn't stop.
Which are you more concerned about, Trump's authoritarian takeover of America, that he will suspend free and fair elections after his 2020 reelection and will no longer have this representative republic, or are you concerned more for Michael Cohen's physical safety as the hero in this story trying to prevent said takeover? Craig in Mount Greenwood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy. This is a perfect example of that saying, self-fulfilling prophecy. They're so worried about Trump in 2020 and everything. All they're overplaying at her hand and doing stupid things, the Democrats, and some I've heard refer to them as the Demorats. Anyways, they really overdid it this time, because I've got a friend that worked at Democrat, and he told me the other day, he says, I see what you mean. And it's all because of the way they do this. Giving this guy Cohen this big platform like this and everything right on top of that Vietnam visit, it's insane. Those people are really insane.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Here's something else that was interesting. I mean, all along, or something happened along the way to Michael Cohen's full redemption. He lied again.
Oh, yes, Jay perjured himself again.
I mean, I understand bad habits die hard, but
it's part of the reason why he's going to jail for 3 years.
But it's just sort of bad form. How obvious was the lie? Even CNN picked it up. So don't believe.
I want to hear it.
Don't believe me.
Okay.
Believe CNN. This is the exchange, Jim Jordan to Michael Cohen, where then Cohen sort of, he steps on himself a bit. Right here.
How long did you work in the White House?
I never worked in the White House.
And that's the point, isn't it, Mr. Cohen?
No, sir.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, sir.
You wanted to work in the House.
No, sir.
You didn't get brought to the dance.
Sir.
And now?
I was extremely proud to be personal attorney to the President of the United States of America. I did not want to go to the White House. I was offered jobs. I can tell you a story of Mr. Trump reaming out Reince Priebus because I had not taken a job where Mr. Trump wanted me to, which is working with Don McGahn at the White House General Counsel's
Mr. Cohen,
office.
Yeah.
He wanted to be chief of staff.
Jake Tapper and Dana Bash responding to what Michael Cohen asserted.
And I think the issue there is that one sentence, I did not want to go to the White House. All of our reporting suggests that's not true.
And let me just tell you that after he said that, I reached out to Reince Priebus. I spoke to him, and his comment was no comment. He said, I'm not getting involved in this. But I can just say, and we all, of course, witnessed this real time, that this president, probably more than any other, if he wants somebody in the White House, they're there. Reince Priebus and John Kelly probably didn't want Omarosa to be working in the White House and other people, but they were there because the president wanted it to be so. So if Michael Cohen and the president really wanted it to happen, more importantly, the president, it would have happened, and he wanted it.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, so that's a real problem. I mean, just anything, if you lie about the little things, particularly in the context of trying to rehabilitate your reputation as a liar, come clean, redeem yourself, and you're lying about that, which he clearly is. Again, Bash and Tapper's reporting. In addition to that, Eric Trump tweeting out, Michael was lobbying everyone, as you said, to be chief of staff. It was the biggest joke in the campaign and around the office. Did he just perjure himself again? Trump Jr., Don Trump Jr., nailed it. It was really the biggest joke of the entire transition. The beginning of his bitterness was when he realized that was never going to happen. #delusional.
Well, he almost seemed like, I know this sounds bad, but a domestic violence victim who keeps coming back. It's just some psychotic comments.
He is capable of behaving kindly, but he is not kind. He is capable of committing acts of generosity, but he is not generous. He is capable of being loyal, but he is fundamentally disloyal.
It was just bizarre.
Bruce and Monique, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I just think it's really rich and ironic that he says that we would not accept a smooth transition of power if Donald Trump was to lose in 2020. What have the Democrats been doing for the last 2 years?
Good point. Thanks.
Listen to podcast of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Oh, hey.
Hey, did you hear? My friend's company was the victim of an email impersonation attack.
It's a serious threat to every business.
What if cybercriminals target us and trick accounting into making a wire transfer?
Don't worry. We have Barracuda.
So we're secured?
Yeah. Barracuda uses artificial intelligence to detect and block spear phishing and account takeover attempts.
What a relief.
Don't become a victim. Protect your business at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Hey, we're still in the middle of cold and flu season, and you know what's just around the corner, Dan? Springtime allergy season. The change in weather can cause all kinds of problems with your body and your immune system, and you need to protect yourself so that you can stay healthy and feel better. You need to do what I've started doing, and that's take Balance of Nature. It's the easy way to get your daily dose of fruits and vegetables because we all know you aren't eating enough on your own. Just face it. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies in a single capsule. Now, I know you've heard the testimonials here on AM 560. Maybe you're skeptical, but I can tell you this. I've met Dr. Douglas Howard, the founder of Balance of Nature. He's shown me the actual emails. We played the actual voicemails that he receives from happy and satisfied users of Balance of Nature. And just like me. So get healthy by ordering Balance of Nature. Don't wait another day. Try it now before you get sick. And get 20% off when you order by using promo code Chicago. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago for 20% off your first set of fruits and veggies from Balance of Nature.
You've spent a lot of time and energy getting everything perfect with the planning and construction of your new property. But something's still missing. The interior and exterior of the structure turned out as planned, but there's still something you may not have even thought of until now. And it makes a big difference. The landscape. That's where AM Woodland Design makes the outdoors come alive to put that final detail on your build. Whether you're a commercial developer or custom home builder, AM Woodland Outdoor Design will put the finishing touches on your properties to make a complete and flawless presentation that will impress. As always, the expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process and provide quality service with integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com, that's amwoodland.com, or call 847-224-2167.
You're probably not thinking about back to school season right now. In fact, most parents with kids in school are more likely to be thinking about spring break. But now is the best time to think about where you'll be sending your son or daughter to school this fall. It's a big decision, and you might have felt like private school simply wasn't in the budget for your family, well, think again. We want to tell you about halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools throughout the region, all over Chicagoland, offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located all across Chicagoland, including St. Paul's Lutheran in Brookfield, Kingswood Academy in Darien, Westminster Christian in Elgin, Faith Evangelical Lutheran in Antioch, Midwestern Christian Academy on the northwest side of the city, and Kankakee Trinity Academy in Kankakee. Make private school affordable for your family for the first time this year. These vouchers will sell out. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Sheet metal is a big part of commercial and industrial facilities. Look around your business and you'll quickly notice how many components use sheet metal. From fan systems and hoods to machinery guards and much more. For top quality sheet metal work, get to know the pros at Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial sheet metal contractor that can fabricate all types of alloys up to 1-inch plate. We perform jobs including chutes, hoppers, stacks, siding, and dust collection. We work in material handling facilities including steel, chemical, agricultural, food processing plants, and more. Vans Industrial can also design and perform the engineering for a complete turnkey installation. Our quality work is installed by trained mechanics who will work closely with you to make sure the job is done right.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Fat Tuesday is Tuesday.
Right.
This coming Tuesday.
Yes, the lentil season begins.
The Lenten season.
Lenten.
Lentil is a soup. But I guess it's still a soup season,
that's what
too.
the Episcopalians call it.
Exactly.
We get out our cans of lentil soup. Words with Amy.
Right.
Oh, wait. A word with Amy.
What are you giving up for lentil season? Oyster crackers?
I really hope my mom's not listening. Or my high school English teacher. What do you have there?
Well, for the secular piece of this Fat Tuesday, we've got Central Continental Bakery. Now you got me doing it. Central Continental Bakery, Punchki Fest 2019. It starts. They've got a 6-day event that runs 2 days, starting today, through Tuesday, March 5th. What is a punchki, you ask? I'm so glad you asked because I'm going to give their.
I know what a punchki is.
Well, I'm going to give their official definition.
Oh, it's on the box.
Yes.
Yes, you read it. Punchkis with prof. There we go.
It's a traditional Polish dessert that is especially popular one day of the year, Fat Tuesday. The Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, back at the turn of the century, the Polish community almost always give up their traditional sweets for the Lenten season, or as Amy calls it, lentil. Thus, on Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, the Polish bakers would enrich their yeast dough with sugar, butter, shortening, and eggs to create this deep-fried pastry delight. The traditional punchki are made just like our yeast-raised Bismarcks using an enriched formula. These round, sugar-coated, fruit-filled Bismarcks are overfilled with assorted fillings. I like this. This is very nice. A little history behind the desserts, and can't wait to dig into these. So thanks to Central Continental Bakery.
So open the box. I want to see.
They're the best. They just are.
Oh my.
They really are.
Yeah. Look at these. Look at these bad boys.
If I had one of those, I'd be on the floor. But I'll have a little bite. You want to share one, Dan?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm going to have mine in honor of John Cass, since he can't have this stuff anymore.
That's right.
That's right. He's on a strict diet. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How did Republicans do in cross-examining Mr. Cohen yesterday? We'll pick that up with Jim Jordan at 5:38.
And later, why you might want to hold the salsa. We'll explain, but first into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're watching developments in Joliet this morning where several were found dead inside of a home late last night. It's an apparent murder-suicide, according to investigators. Police tell us that shots were fired inside of a home in the 500 block of Whitley Avenue just after 10 p.m. When Joliet police entered the home, they said they located several subjects deceased inside. Police say it appears at this moment to be a murder-suicide event. Investigators have not said how many were killed and have not yet identified those who were killed in the murder-suicide investigation. The White House says no agreement was reached at the second summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The president explains what stopped them from getting a deal.
Basically, they wanted the sanctions lifted in their entirety, and we couldn't do that. They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that.
A statement after the meeting in Hanoi ended said the talks were constructive. The president is on his way home on board Air Force One from Vietnam. President Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, says his former boss, in his words, is a racist and a con man, and that he regrets working for him. Republican Congressman Mark Meadows raised objections during the start of the hearing.
Now, if this was just an oversight, Mr. Chairman, I could look beyond it. But it was an intentional effort by this witness and his advisors to once again show his disdain for this body.
Cohen rejected GOP contentions that he was bitter and unhappy and that he wasn't offered a job in the White House after Donald Trump was elected president. An expanded gun background check bill is headed to the GOP-controlled Senate after passing in the Democrat-controlled House. The vote 240 to 190. It's the first time any gun control measure has cleared the House in a generation. Senate leadership says the unworkable bill will likely not be considered. Apple is laying off 190 people in its self-driving car program. Rising floodwaters turn northern California towns into islands. The Russian River in Sonoma County crested Wednesday night. A 17-year-old boy is charged with the murder of a Northside College prep student in Chicago. Police say the teen was arrested yesterday on the Northwest Side after being identified as the person who shot and killed 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. Health officials confirm a child has died from the flu in Chicago. The death is the first influenza-related pediatric death in Cook County, third in the state. News of the death comes as nearly 200 students at South Middle School in Arlington Heights were out sick yesterday because of the flu. Blackhawks 4-3 winners over the Ducks in Anaheim. The Cat with 2 goals, and goalie Corey Crawford gets the win back between the pipes. Zach LaVine 30. Bulls edge the Grizzlies 109-107 in Memphis. 5:34. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains how hard Trump has been on Russia.
The president has been the toughest on Russia than any modern president. Trump has pulled out of this treaty with Russia that Russia was violating. Trump has armed the Ukrainians. He's made us more energy efficient. He's condemned that pipeline that Russia is building between its country and Germany, and the president's being reamed as soft on Russia.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
It's Dr. David Goldbaba. It's our winter survival kit for this cold and flu season. It's power-packed with natural ingredients, and unlike the flu shot, it's safe and effective. First, it's our Sunny C 1000. It's highly absorbable, and it does not suppress your body's natural killer cells like most other vitamin C supplements do. And when you purchase your first bottle of our Sunny C 1000, I promise to include scientific data to back it up. And I'll also include a vitamin C dosage chart for you to customize how much is best for you, whether you're fighting off a cold or flu or you want a preventative dose to keep you from getting a cold or flu. Sunny C 1000. It's easy on the stomach, and it's essential in fighting illness. And when you order your Sunny C1000 today, be sure to get more information on the rest of our winter survival kit. Call 800-794-1855. It's our Health Quest Radio hotline. And be sure to listen to Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. But for now, that number again, 800-794-1855.
5:36 and a check of our morning roads. In the AM 560 traffic center, here's Jim Talamonte.
In Chicago's Loop on Franklin, south of Adams, hazmat crews are out. A dump truck hit a pole. Truck's fuel tanks punctured. Crews are busy at that scene right now. Traffic's still fairly light downtown. It's also light on the Edens and the Kennedy. Outbound work is wrapped up around Sayre. Traffic's moving well in both directions. No delays yet on the Eisenhower. Mount Stevenson, it's tight Harlem to Central. 36 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. And Ryan, 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Heavy starting around 18. I-7 good. Bishop Ford, got a 2 or 3 minute delay. Cottage Grove to the merge. Tollways are looking good. Northwest Indiana's all clear at this time. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, cloudy and cold. We may hit a few flurries this afternoon, high 27. Cloudy and cold, 17 overnight, 12 at O'Hare, and your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This is going to be one of the more incredible installments of Campus Beat that you've heard.
So we should hunker down.
Hunker down and cinch it up, as Hawk would say. Natalie Corona wanted to be a cop for as long as anyone she knew can remember. This from the Sacramento Bee. Her family and sense of duty drove her to put on the uniform. She was a high school homecoming queen and the daughter of a cop.
It's truly an honor. I know because I've been there.
Exactly. Sure. It's an
honor you never forget.
It's
really.
an exclusive sorority. I know I'll never forget mine. When the funding for her position with the Davis Police Department ran out, Corona took jobs at a fruit stand and as a waitress so she could afford to volunteer with the department.
Good for her.
She, by all accounts, was a considerate person who cared deeply about the community she served. She was pictured giving a bag of must-haves to a former resident of Paradise, a community in California, over the holidays. She reportedly gave a man she arrested a few dollars so he could buy a meal when he was released. So she was sort of the police officer that makes it really difficult to prop up the Black Lives Matter anti-cop rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie Corona, 22, was murdered after responding to a traffic accident in downtown Davis a couple Thursdays ago. A gunman opened fire on her, then fled, leading to a manhunt that lasted until police found the suspect dead inside a home with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. What does that have to do with Campus Beat?
I thought we were going to have fun.
No, I said it's going to be...
Took a sad turn, Dan.
It's going to be tough. Davis Police Department. It's a college town. UC Davis professor Joshua Clover, a professor of English and comparative literature at UC Davis. His rhetoric has come under renewed scrutiny because of the murder of Natalie Corona. His rhetoric includes, quoting, "I am thankful that every living cop will one day be dead, some by their own hands, some by others, too many of old age. I mean, quoting, I mean, it's easier to shoot cops when their backs are turned. No? Quoting, people think that cops need to be reformed. They need to be killed. UC Davis professor of English and comparative literature, Joshua Clover.
Let me guess. So he's tenured there, probably, so they can't get rid of him.
Pretty good argument against tenure, isn't he? Nick Irvin, writing for the campus paper, the Aggie, really does a nice job of providing all the context to the good professor. He notes that he's well known through literary circles as Professor Clover. His poetry examining latent struggles against capitalism, and his latest book explaining the act of rioting from a decidedly Marxist point of view. His work has been featured in The Nation and The New York Times. He's one of the co-founders of Commune Editions, a publisher specializing in anarchist and communist poetry. I'll get you a subscription, Amy.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also to Commune Magazine. I'll throw that in as well. The holidays around the corner.
Oh, sweet.
He emailed, this author, Nick Irvin, emailed Clover to schedule a meeting to learn why he made these statements about police and whether he was aware of their life-threatening implications. Clover talked to him. I think, here's what he said. After the fact, and after Natalie Corona's murder, I think we can all agree that the most effective way to end any violence against officers is the complete and immediate abolition of the police.
Okay. This teacher has no business working in education and should not be anywhere near young minds, honestly.
When asked about his views in the wake of Corona's murder, he said, I direct any further questions to the family of Michael Brown.
Oh, okay. The guy's. Have you seen his picture, too? He looks like a nutty professor.
UC Davis administration, you want to know what the college has to say? You want to hear?
Oh, their statement? Well, let me guess. His opinion does not reflect our institutional values, yabba yabba, something like that.
That's the cant you're getting to get served up, of course.
I could be a PR director.
Easily.
Woo!
Yeah, what do you expect other than this sort of courage from the college? And remember, as Andrew Sullivan observed in New York Magazine a couple of months ago, we're all on a college campus now.
Let me guess, we don't advocate murder or something.
It is not reflective of our institutional values.
I'm getting there.
You nailed it.
It only took 20 years.
We find it unconscionable that anyone would condone, much less appear to advocate murder. And we support law enforcement, the UC Davis Police Department, and Chief Joe Farrow, and have been and remain critical partners to our community, and so on and so forth. What are we going to do about
well, what's his punishment?
The good professor?
I mean, he should be fired for his comments. And also, too, the follow-up interview, something's not right with the man.
You think?
The animosity and anger he has toward police. And go ask Michael Brown's family. Okay.
I mean,
Michael Brown's family is not living in Ferguson, Missouri anymore.
It's not a specific threat, so I don't think it's violative of Professor Clover's free speech rights, but it's certainly it could be a terminable offense. I mean, I wouldn't employ someone who spoke like that about police. And UC Davis, the University of California college system, could choose to do the same. They won't, of course, because that's where academic freedom is invoked. It's not invoked to say, I don't know, bring Heather McDonald to the campus of Berkeley. That's not academic freedom. To have a conservative table set up at Berkeley without anybody getting punched. No, that's not academic freedom. I mean, on the conservative side, not the thug side. But when it comes to advocating for, I mean, literally and explicitly advocating for the police to be murdered, that's where the left rallies around the First Amendment and these higher education values of academic freedom and the free marketplace of ideas. And you hear all of this very high-minded rhetoric to cover for some very lowbrow rhetoric. But this is why we do the Campus Beat segment. I mean, you want to send your kids to take English courses at UC Davis? You want them to study under the learned
tutelage
Professor Joshua Clover? Seriously.
No, he needs to be removed at once. And if they don't see that, then nobody, should spend a dime at UC Davis or any UC schools.
Speaking of police, since we're all on a college campus now, Chicago, and the recently concluded city elections. Speaking of police, John Arena
Oh, yesterday I called John Areno.
Yes, John
and
Arena.
I'm still getting flack for it from my friends. Thank you.
The outgoing 45th Ward alderman, responding to John Garrido.
And Garrido texted me about Areno, which is arena. Yes.
Yeah, you did a little mashup there.
And John Garrido, by the way, just full disclosure, hooked you up with Hayek.
He did, yes. He and his wife have a shelter on the Northwest Side. It's great. And that's right. That's where I got my dog. John is a friend. He's a Chicago police officer. He ran against John Arena for alderman twice, nearly lost twice. And so, Garrido ribbed John Arena about losing the race, to which John Arena responded, and I want people to hear this. And we have Kevin Graham, the head of Chicago FOP, on at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. I want to make sure he hears this, too, just in case John Arena ever plots a political comeback. You know how that happens.
Was this via social media?
This was a text, and Garrido posted it on his Facebook page.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear it.
He writes to Garrido, does Arena. Oh, Johnny, I've lost nothing, you impotent little boy. Beat your ass twice. Knowing that for 8 years you watched me build while you diddle away on Facebook was all I needed. Today I'll cut the ribbon on an annex where generations of children will learn. You made a meme. Oh, and every time you drive MKE, you'll think of how I owned you.
MKE?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Good luck collecting your pension, 20% funded. Go write me your property tax check.
Oh! No, he did. And whoa. Agree to put that on his Facebook page?
Yeah. Good luck collecting your pension, 20% funded, talking about the Chicago police pension. Go write me your property tax check. So, I just want to punctuate that because when, say, I talk about underfunded pensions, unfunded pension liabilities, what needs to be done to prevent these pension funds like Chicago Police and Chicago Fire from insolvency. I'm like, from certain quarters, I get you're anti-police, you're anti-fire, so on and so forth. The Chicago Democrats, socialists like John Arena, they're the ones in your camp. They're the ones that, frankly, a lot of city workers gave 2 aldermanic terms to before they ran him out on Tuesday. 2 aldermanic terms. 8 years, you indulged John Arena in the 45th Ward. That's what you did. And this is his attitude. And frankly, it's not like an attitude he hid particularly well or even attempted to hide. So this is what he thinks about police pensions. Good luck collecting your pension. That's an alderman. He's still an alderman.
That's a threat.
Go write me your property tax check. That's what he thinks about you, his subjects. That's what the feudal lord says to the serfs, even if you're a police officer. I hope that's instructive.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
A car accident can be stressful and inconvenient. You want your car repaired exactly the way it was before the accident. Unfortunately, there's an epidemic of poorly repaired vehicles by corporate-sponsored repair shops. Insurance companies are looking to cut costs. Your car may look fine, but that pretty paint job doesn't mean it was fixed right. Did the shop use genuine manufacturer replacement parts? Or take shortcuts you can't see to stay on the insurance company's direct repair list of shops out of fear they'll be removed? The shop that does it right every time is America's Auto Body. They use only genuine manufacturer's replacement parts and are a fully certified manufacturer and dealer repair facility. If necessary, America's Auto Body will even stand up for you in dealing with insurance to assure your vehicle is properly repaired. They're not afraid of the insurance company. Remember, you, not the insurance company, have a right to choose the repair shop. Learn what to look for in a potential repair shop at americasautobody.com. That's americasautobody.com.
In retirement, your bills each month will be bigger than your Social Security. For most couples, their Social Security will not nearly be enough to pay their bills and to live comfortably. Hi, this is Bill Geiger, founder of Geiger Wealth, Chicago's retirement planning experts. Do you have the additional income you'll need to spend 20 to 30 years in retirement without a paycheck? We work with couples in their late 50s to early 60s to do just that. Create the additional income they can count on to live the way they want to in retirement. If you have a portfolio of $500,000 or greater, call us now for your personalized complimentary retirement income plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498 or at GeigerWealth.com. We look forward to seeing you. Retire with confidence.
Geiger Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
When you hear the word divorce, a lot of thoughts go through your head. The emotional exhaustion, confusion, the extra demands, loneliness. It's not a fun subject to talk about. So many people have or are currently going through a divorce. You may be one of them, or you know someone who is. Maybe a family member or friend. Now there's some great assistance to get you through the tough times. A BFF's Guide to Divorce can help you or someone you know walk through the divorce process and relieve much of the stress. It explains some of the variables and decisions of a divorce, along with the overall process and terminology. But it also explains how a best friend forever, a BFF, can walk alongside their friend during this challenging time, providing emotional and tactical support. Get a BFF's Guide to Divorce now, for yourself or a friend. It's available from Amazon. To order, go to Amazon.com and search the keywords BFF and divorce under books.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
The last time you tried to set up for a presentation, it was a disaster. Your coworkers were embarrassed, and your clients had a look on their faces like they'd rather be anywhere else. It could have gone so much smoother with a conference room designed and installed by Midwest Computer Products. You spend precious time creating the perfect presentation, only to have it all blow up because your audio-visual equipment is outdated and not compatible with current technology. Partner with Midwest Computer Products for a space that dazzles your clients and employees and saves you the constant headache of keeping up with technology. Whether you're reimagining your corporate conference rooms, creating a huddle space, or implementing a video conferencing initiative, Midwest Computer Products is ready to help your business become state-of-the-art. And for a limited time, Midwest Computer Products is offering free design and consultation service when you upgrade your conference room. Get a quote today and see all that Midwest Computer Products can do for your business at MidwestComputer.com. That's MidwestComputer.com.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Improving your home? Why not make it easy? Don't miss the free Home and Garden Show this weekend only at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Find the ultimate in savings and convenience with thousands of the latest home products and services for the freshest ideas to remodel, repair, and beautify your home, inside and out. Get trusted advice on your upcoming projects as you speak with local and national experts who will help you with all of your home improvement needs. And be sure to attend the free expert seminars and live cooking shows all weekend. See quality indoor and outdoor furniture, amazing deals on mattresses and adjustable beds, the latest appliances by Grand, and so much more. Plus, don't miss the huge plant sale by Ted's Greenhouse. And test drive the new Transit Connect by Ford right from the show. From interiors to exteriors, from decor to outdoor, you'll find it all at the huge Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Tinley Park Convention Center on Harlem Avenue north of I-80 with free admission and parking. For details, visit TinleyParkShow.com. That's TinleyParkShow.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, you watched the show Last Chance U. It's on Netflix. It's a couple, 3 seasons, I think. It started at East Mississippi Community College. The last season was Independence Community College in Independence, Kansas.
I've seen highlights and know the premise of it.
It's a pretty good show. I like it.
So they just feature the football teams.
Community college football teams and a lot of really talented high school, even college football players that screw up. And
And
that's
don't
why,
make D1 schools. So
or
that's
they
good
did,
for
and they
you.
wash out of a D1, which is why they got a community college, and then they try to get back. And it's also coaches on the rise from high school or another community college and building dynasties, as Buddy Stevens did at East Mississippi for a time. Well, the Coach Brown, Jason Brown, is a bit of a fiery guy, interesting cat. If you've watched Last Chance U, he's the coach of Independence U. Well, he was. He had to resign.
Oh, why?
This is a little bit of a coaching cautionary tale for you, Amy, as a coach.
Okay. By the way, we have a game at 4:30 today at Nettlehorse. If you want to see real basketball, the fundamentals down. I'm just letting you know. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Everybody's on Pete Maravich's homework basketball, I presume.
Yes.
Jason Brown resigned after a story detailing how he told freshman football player Alexandros Alexio that, quote, "I am your new Hitler," unquote.
Yeah.
Alexio, apparently...
Poor choice of words.
Apparently this kid is also German, by the way. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
The text, 410 on the field, you German blank. Have 17 points toward your 25 points. See Stadler for explanation. You get an extra point for not hanging the lion poster. This is like why he's getting punished. And as instructed, I'm your new Hitler. Figure out your life.
Yeah, I'm reading that.
Yeah.
Text message that, I can't text that.
In his resignation, Coach Brown said, given what has most recently been allowed to transpire, it's clear I will...
That's a good PR line. What most recently has transpired.
Has been allowed to transpire.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's sort of an innocent bystander. It's clear that it will be nearly impossible for me to stay here. The local paper has greatly diminished my ability to successfully do my job by reporting the story, and has set the football program back significantly. And the cumulative effect of all these detrimental factors, I believe, clearly constitute a constructive discharge of my employment. Okay, I guess that means he wants to be paid out the rest of his contract. Anyway, he says, much love and so on and so forth. So just, avoid Hitler references.
Yeah, okay. I've got
all right.
that. Yeah.
Avoid, I'm your new Hitler.
Yeah, those words will never come out of my mouth.
Yeah, just like no references to dictators. I'm your new Messiah. Just get.
I'm your Maduro. No.
Just stick with I'm your coach. Just keep it nice and vanilla, straight up. By the way, speaking of running out of last chances, Johnny Manziel. There's another cautionary tale. Talent guarantees nothing, as my high school basketball coach used to impress upon us. He just got kicked out of the CFL. He got kicked out of the Canadian Football League.
For doing what? Drugs?
Dumped by the Montreal Alouettes for not living up to the terms of his agreement. They wouldn't be specific. So 26-year-old Johnny Manziel, I think, may have just seen his last chance go by the board.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How did Republicans take advantage or not of their chance to cross-examine Michael Cohen? We'll discuss at 6:06.
And it's not over yet. There's a new mission for Sully, and how you can see more of Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to want to pay attention to that story. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
A teen charged in a deadly shooting of another Chicago teen investigating a murder-suicide in Joliet. A man poses as an Uber driver to lure children on Chicago's north side. Big win for the Blackhawks. Bulls beat the Grizzlies. Fighting Illini lose to Purdue. WIND Chicago News Time. 6 o'clock.
The Art of No Deal. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump says sometimes you have to walk away. And his second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un ends early with no new agreement on lifting economic sanctions or shutting down North Korea's nuclear program. Fox's Simon Owens live in Hanoi, Vietnam.
Chris, Air Force One was in the air more than 2 hours before President Trump was scheduled to depart after negotiations collapsed.
I could have 100% signed something today. We actually had papers ready to be signed, but it just wasn't appropriate.
The president saying Kim Jong-un demanded too much, total relief from US-led sanctions. Despite the breakdown, the president saying Kim has pledged that he won't restart nuclear and missile testing.
I trust him and I take him at his word. I hope that's true.
But he said it could be a long time before he meets with Kim again. Chris?
Simon, the president's former attorney Michael Cohen is back on Capitol Hill this morning.
Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen testifies to the House Intelligence Committee today, but that's going on behind closed doors. During Wednesday's very public testimony to the House Oversight Committee, Cohen accusing the president of several crimes. He ended with a message aimed right at the president.
This behavior is churlish. It denigrates the office of the president.
And after President Trump's summit with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, the president speaking out against Cohen.
He lied a lot, but it was very interesting because he didn't lie about one thing. He said no collusion with the Russian hoax.
Cohen heads to prison in early May. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
An Army veteran in a wheelchair is accused of shooting a doctor in the neck just before a mental health evaluation at a VA facility in Riviera Beach, Florida. The doctor's in stable condition. The veteran, Larry Ray Bond, served briefly in the 70s. He's due in court today. A staff member was grazed. This is Fox News.
A chilly start to the morning at 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. 12 degrees this morning. Several people were found dead inside of a home in Joliet Wednesday night. Police say it was an apparent murder-suicide. Shots were fired inside of that home on Whitley Avenue just after 10 p.m. When Joliet police officers entered that home, they say they located several subjects deceased inside. A 17-year-old boy is charged with the murder of a Northside College prep student in Chicago. Police say the teen was arrested yesterday on the northwest side. Identified as the person who shot and killed 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. That suspect is due in bond court later today. A 4-year-old girl is dead, 2 others hurt following a fire in Aurora. Authorities say the blaze broke out yesterday in a 4-unit townhome in the 1800 block of Carnation Court. 4-year-old died while a woman and a 5-month-old girl were hospitalized with smoke inhalation and burns. Health officials are investigating a mumps outbreak in McHenry County. Officials are trying to determine whether there's a connection between the 8 cases that have been diagnosed so far, 6 of them at the Arising Church in Crystal Lake, 2 at the McHenry County Jail. The church does ministry work at that jail. Chicago's world-renowned jazz pianist and composer is being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award on the occasion of African American Heritage Month. Ramsey Lewis is scheduled to receive that award later today, presented by Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White at the Thompson Center. Blackhawks 4-3 winners over the Ducks in Anaheim. Zach LaVine, 30. Bulls trimmed the Grizzlies 109-107 in Memphis. College hoops, Fighting Illini fall at Purdue. DePaul lost to Georgetown in the Valley. Loyola just edged Northern Iowa 56-55. Illinois State beat Missouri State. SIU over Evansville, and Bradley hammered Valparaiso. The news service of Boost Mobile. With the money you save by switching to Boost Mobile, you'll have more freedom to spend your hard-earned tax return on other stuff. Switch today and get 4 lines each with unlimited gigs for just $100 a month. Plus, get 4 free phones. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-597-0315. That's 800-597-0315. 800-597-0315. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985,
We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
If you're traveling for work, make your next stop La Quinta by Wyndham. Their spacious rooms and free high-speed internet makes it easy to work, while their comfortable beds and bright-side breakfasts make it easy to relax. Win at business, wherever you go. Book at lq.com.
6:06, and let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
We have an update on a fuel spill in downtown Chicago. This is affecting Lower Wacker northbound right at the Willis Tower loading dock. A dump truck hit a pole and the truck's fuel tank punctured, so there are gallons of fuel on the ground. Hazmat crews are at the scene. Kennedy inbound. We're seeing delays now Harlem to Central. 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 20. Edens is fine. On Eisenhower with scattered delays, 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 30. Tollways are still okay. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Cloudy and cold for today. A few flurries popping up this afternoon. The high 29. Cloudy and cold tonight and tomorrow. Low tonight 19. High tomorrow 36. Cloudy on Saturday with a high 32. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
12 at O'Hare, 17 along the lakefront. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping you powered up no matter what the conditions.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. What did you think of the job Republicans did addressing the show that Democrats put on featuring Michael Cohen and his puppet master, Lanny Davis, sitting behind him? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Here's the RNC response. They put together a compendium of Michael Cohen's greatest compliments of Donald Trump once upon a time.
Now, I want to tell you about the real Donald Trump. He's really, he's a unifier. The words the media should be using to describe Mr. Trump are generous. He's going to do everything that he promised. He's going to bring success and he's going to make America great. Compassionate, principled. Donald Trump speaks from the heart. Empathetic, kind. He's going to stay true to who he is. He's going to be an amazing president. Humble, honest, and genuine. Mr. Trump's memory is fantastic, and I've never come across a situation where Mr. Trump has said something that's not accurate. All Donald Trump wants to do is make this country great again.
And the video ends with the Chiron, have fun in prison.
Which he is reporting to prison next month, March 6th, I believe.
So was Michael Cohen lying then? Is he lying now? Or was he lying both then and now?
Or does he have problems? I mean, he came out swinging.
He is a racist. He is a con man. And he is a cheat.
Right.
And NBC yesterday, Chuck Todd, said that this Cohen hearing is a first step in the impeachment proceedings.
Well, he's not the only one who said it. Jim Jordan said it, too, in his opening statement after he was able to wrestle control of the microphone away from Chairman Elijah Cummings. And here's Jim Jordan laying out what he thinks was going on with the Democrats and Michael Cohen's appearance.
Mr. Chairman, here we go. Here we go. Your first big hearing, your first announced witness, Michael Cohen. I want everyone in this room to think about this. The first announced witness for the 116th Congress is a guy who is going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress. Mr. Chairman, your chairmanship will always be identified with this hearing. And we all need to understand what this is. This is the Michael Cohen hearing presented by Lanny Davis. That's right. Lanny Davis choreographed the whole darn thing. The Clintons' best friend, loyalist, operative, Lanny Davis put this all together. You know how we know? He told our staff. He told the committee staff. He said the hearing was his idea. He selected this committee. He had to talk Michael Cohen into coming. And most importantly, he had to persuade the chairman to actually have it. He told us it took 2 months to get that job done. But here we are. He talked him into it. This might be the first time someone convicted of lying to Congress has appeared again so quickly in front of Congress. Certainly, it's the first time a convicted perjurer has been brought back to be a star witness in a hearing. And there's a reason this is the first, because no other committee would do it. Think about this. With Mr. Cohen here, this committee, we got lots of lawyers on this committee. This committee is actually encouraging a witness to violate attorney-client privilege. Mr. Chairman, when we legitimize dishonesty, we delegitimize this institution. We're supposed to pursue the truth.
Well, that was Jim Jordan's take. Let me give you a take from a contributing writer at The Atlantic who's also a lawyer based in L.A., former federal prosecutor, Ken White. House Republicans needed a trial lawyer or even a moderately bright junior high mock trial participant to tell them how to do anything. Cross-examination is hard. It's not just barking at the witness. It takes meticulous planning and patience. Republicans could have marshaled Cohen's many sins of the past to undermine his statements. Instead, they returned repeatedly to lies and misdeeds he's already admitted, wallowed in civic trivialities like the Women for Cohen Twitter account, and yelled. The effect was to make an unsympathetic man modestly more sympathetic. Republicans committed the classic cross-examination blunder. They gave the witness the opportunity to further explain his harmful direct testimony. They provided Cohen with one slow pitch up the middle after another, letting him repeat the cooperating witnesses' go-to explanation like a mantra. I did these bad things so often and so long because that's what it took to work for your guy. I have seldom seen a cross-examination go worse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they asked him, you know, was he a mobster? Was he the boss?
How many times did Mr. Trump ask you to threaten an individual or entity on his behalf?
Quite a few times.
50 times?
More.
100 times?
More. 200
times?
More.
500 times?
Probably. Over the 10 years.
That's not a Republican asking.
No,
that
that's
question,
Jackie Spire, Democrat from California.
Right.
But it was just, I mean, they're just trying to paint President Trump as some monster who directed hits on people, who told Michael Cohen to lie without saying it. It was his body language, Dan. That's what it was.
Yeah, but the question is, how did Republicans respond? The Republican criticism, or the criticism of Republicans is, well, you attacked the opponent. You didn't address the substance of what he was saying in these topic areas, from hush money payments to real estate deals. So was that the right play? And I mean, I understand not everybody listening is a trial lawyer, and I'm not either. But to Ken White's criticism of Republicans and the cross-examination, I think it was okay what Jim Jordan did to frame the day.
Yeah.
But I think Ken White has a point in how Republicans failed to deconstruct Cohen, understanding that, yes, he's a convicted perjurer, and you start from that, and you repeat it intermittently throughout the day to remind people just exactly who we're talking about here, that Michael Cohen's uncorroborated word is meaningless.
Yeah,
but there were corroborating exhibits, and the Michael Cohen narrative is, I did all these, as Ken White puts out, this is a redemption story. I apologize. I'm lying prone before the nation. I did all these bad things I shouldn't have done in advance of the guy you're defending. And I don't think Republicans did as an effective job as they could of undermining that narrative that Cohen and Lanny Davis and the Democrats were trying to advance. Now, the flip side is the Democrats weren't much better.
Oh, they were, yeah.
Go Ken White again. House Democrats needed a good trial lawyer, too, to teach them how to handle a morally bankrupt cooperating witness. As a former prosecutor, I know that your tone has to be stern and your questioning methodical. You have to convey to your audience that although the witness is nobody to admire, he can still offer useful information. If you're friendly, the jury just thinks you've fallen for a con artist. The Democrats treated Cohen like a minor celebrity, perhaps a YouTube star. A trial lawyer would not have simply drawn out Cohen's incriminating information about Trump, but used Cohen to emphasize the corroborating evidence from the special counsel investigation that backs many of his accusations. This was an opportunity to build an outline of a case against Trump. Democrats didn't. Instead, they triumphantly repeated Cohen's most salacious accusations, speechified, and uncritically embraced Cohen's "I am a sinner seeking redemption" narrative. So, again, politicians grandstanding rather than politicians, particularly those that are lawyers, leaning on their professional experience and ostensibly competence. This is a time when Republicans could have used Trey Gowdy.
That's what I was thinking, too, when I watched this, because I thought the Republicans were treating him with kid gloves. It's almost if he was a victim.
Well, no.
Which was so strange.
Well, I know.
Some of them were. And then Chip Roy, this congressman out of Texas who's a Republican, he started talking about his cancer. I mean, it was so strange. It was a bizarre 8 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the Democrats' full embrace, that's a mistake against a convicted felon who's going to prison in 2 months, right? And Republicans just attacking the opponent rather than sort of deconstructing some of what Michael Cohen had to offer was not as effective as it could have been either.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Grant in Rockford, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good. I have to disagree with that assessment. I mean, you got to think about it. Even CNN called Michael Cohen a liar. I mean, that right there, that's groundbreaking. And then you got to figure that Cohen really, I think Rush Limbaugh hit it on the head yesterday. Cohen, nobody has anything on Trump. If Cohen had one iota of anything worth value, he would be a free man. But instead, they've got nothing. It is just, it's nothing. And the Democrats showed what petty fools they are and showed their hand. Have a good one. Thank you.
Well, Cohen's going to jail for tax evasion and bank fraud.
Yeah, but
and lying to Congress.
He's going for 3 years when he could have
gone for 70.
Well,
that's what they're saying.
I mean, a multiple of that. And he was never going to get 70, but he could have done real time, serious time. Yes.
And then this is what he said. The bottom line, what about Russian collusion?
Questions have been raised about whether I know of direct evidence that Mr. Trump or his campaign colluded with Russia. I do not.
See? Bottom line. There you go.
But just as a quick tangent.
Yes.
I was trying to who does Michael Cohen?
Roger Stone.
Who does he sound like?
I don't know. Who does he sound like?
Oh, hi. I'm on my way to have my favorite lunch, spaghetti and meatballs. I just hope I can eat my meatball this time. Yeah, it was a swell idea, wasn't it?
Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it. I don't know. I'm still trying. If you can tell me who Michael Cohen sounds like. I thought it may be Snuffleupagus, but I haven't watched Sesame Street in some time, so maybe not Snuffleupagus.
And he lives in fear. He's got a...
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Michael in Lake Forest, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
That's man.
Good morning. Thanks for taking the call. It's an act of God that Trump is president. 20% of what Cohen said rings true. I think it's a resume enhancer for Trump. It's going to take a predator, if you want to describe Trump as a predator, to dismantle what the so-called deep state or establishment has done to this country.
Okay, thanks for the call, Michael. I mean, but just in terms, I'm just trying to kind of keep it to the four corners of yesterday.
Well, another lie that was exposed was when Cohen was talking about WikiLeaks and that Trump knew about Julian Assange's or Hillary Clinton's hacked emails via WikiLeaks. And WikiLeaks put out a statement yesterday saying, we never spoke with Roger Stone ever. So that whole
right, there's
debacle.
a lot of assertions, but this goes to the cross-examination, and some of this, even CNN said he lied. Right, well, Republicans. Jim Jordan did a little bit on the topic with the whole Patsy rap and that you're here because you're upset because you didn't get the White House job and so forth, which led to Cohen lying. So there was some utility, but again. Cross-examination, you get the facts, and then you argue by connecting dots. And that's generally speaking not what happened yesterday. And again, by both sides, so you call it a draw because both sides are bad at what they do. Okay, fine. With the exception of Jim Jordan. I thought Jim Jordan, his opening statement, the framing, and what he did actually draw out of Cohen was pretty good. And he's a wrestler, not an attorney.
You know?
So maybe even just people with a little bit more strategic sense, not necessarily a law degree. Clay in Downers Grove.
Morning, Dan and Amy. My two favorite quotes from the Trump trial was, "I'm not a liar, but I have lied."
Right.
And Mr. Cohen, were you aware of any Trump-Russia collusion? No, I was not aware of any Trump-Russia collusion, but I was suspicious of it. You can't make this up.
Yes, thanks for the call, Clay. Peter in West Chicago.
Yes, for the next 2 years, this is going to be the political ads that we're going to hear. Every Democrat's going to spout this as, see, Trump is just evil. Even his attorney says he's evil.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the call, Peter.
See Mike Monaco in the background? I thought he fell asleep a few times.
Yeah, he was wearing
the purple scarf.
Spike Lee scarf. He should have got the little hat to go with it.
It's a long 8 hours, man.
Randy in Elkhorn.
Yeah, so Cohen threatened over 500 people for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Would any of these people come forward eventually?
I don't know. That's a good question. Thanks for the call, Randy.
And they thought it was wrong to send a letter to his high school and college board. That's not. What do you think President Obama did? He did the same thing because he didn't want his, records released.
Mm-hmm. Candace in Mount Pleasant.
Hey, I thought it sounded you guys like Vinnie Barbarino from Welcome Back, Carter.
What?
Yeah, totally.
Where?
Like a combination between that and Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, Bernie Sanders,
Roger
Vinnie
Stone.
Barber. Yeah, because he's got the
New
East,
York?
East Coast accent.
Yeah, the New York.
With what?
What did I do?
Yeah.
What you looking at me for? Why you trying to bust my onions?
I don't like marshmallows. They make me sick. Now that's Dana Carvey doing Vinnie Barbarino. Me doing Dana Carvey doing Vinnie Barbarino. But thanks for the call, Candace. Yeah, Vinnie Barbarino meets Bernie Sanders. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. They should have spent more time on this at the hearing yesterday. That would have at least been entertaining. Lee and Hammond.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Stalag 17 with William
Oh, yeah.
but
Great movie.
character Animal. He's a dead ringer for Animal. But
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to call because, this thing, these Republicans giving this lukewarm defense of Trump, they need to come out more than they've been. I mean, this is a joke already with this witch hunt. This thing going on in Vietnam with the summit, the North Koreans aren't idiots. They can see what's going on here, and they know that if they could outweigh Trump and the forces that be get him out of the way here, they can be right back to, Obama-style liberal Democrats again, and they can roll right over them.
All
They're
right.
not idiots.
Thanks for the call, Lee. With respect to the first point that Lee made about Republicans soft pedaling their defense of Trump, well, again, with respect to some of the allegations, not the sort of just that you're a racist ad hominem, but I mean like the Stormy Daniels thing.
It's old news. First of all, they act like shocking because they had a copy of a check that was cashed.
Well, we talked a lot about that, more than I ever wanted to, but we talked a lot about that over the last many months. And
he didn't need to pay her off in the first place.
I mean, Trump, you can't really defend Trump based on the facts, so you have to attack your opponent there. So, I mean, in terms of the Chris Christie criticism, they didn't defend Trump on the merits. Some of the stuff, you can't defend Trump on the merits. It's not productive because you're going to have to concede the underlying truth that he probably had an affair with Stormy Daniels and he probably was involved in paying her hush money. And the argument that's been made, if you want to refresh everybody's recollection, is that it's not a campaign finance violation, despite the fact that Michael Cohen is pleading out in part to that. That's a artifice to get Trump on a conspiracy charge to commit campaign finance fraud. But the argument that's made by legal scholars, including Hans von Spakovsky over at Heritage Foundation, is it's not a It's not
It's
a
not.
campaign finance law violation.
All right. Well, then
So-
there's no there then.
Right, but you can't be drawn down into the weeds on some of these assertions that Cohen is making, some of the assertions Cohen made, because Trump doesn't come to the table with clean hands on some of this stuff, and we know it. So let's just be honest with ourselves. Tom in Deer Park.
Oh my God, the Trump supporters. Michael Cohen was Donald Trump's personal thug and hitman and a third-rate attorney. That's all public knowledge.
He's even a worse hitman.
He took the job over from Roy Cohn. The American public ought to acquaint themselves with Roy Cohn. It's probably a little late for the cult 45ers because they're over, they're done, they're baked. The American Congress comes out, puts a dog and pony show on where the Republicans aren't doing their job as checks and balances. They're there to protect the president and make fools of themselves. Why? Because they represent their district. Who's in their district? A bunch of uninformed fools. I'm really scared for this country if this is the type of public discourse that we have, and you support the president at all costs and never look at the facts. I'm scared for the conservative movement.
He doesn't have the hair, though.
Barbarino, yeah. I like my song.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, hey.
Hey, did you hear? My friend's company was the victim of an email impersonation attack.
It's a serious threat to every business.
What if cybercriminals target us and trick accounting into making a wire transfer?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda.
So we're secured?
Yeah. Barracuda uses artificial intelligence to detect and block spearphishing and account takeover attempts.
What a relief.
Don't become a victim. Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Hey, we're still in the middle of cold and flu season, and you know what's just around the corner? Springtime allergy season. The change in weather can cause all kinds of problems with your body and your immune system. So you need to protect yourself so that you can stay healthy and feel better. You need to do what I've started doing, and that's take Balance of Nature. It's the easy way to get your daily dose of fruits and vegetables, because we all know we aren't eating enough on our own. That's where Balance of Nature comes in. 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies in a single capsule. I know you've heard the testimonials here on AM 560. Maybe you're skeptical, but I can tell you this. I've met Dr. Douglas Howard, the founder of Balance of Nature. He showed me the emails. He played the voicemails that he receives from happy and satisfied users of Balance of Nature. So get healthy by ordering Balance of Nature, and don't wait another day. Try it now before you get sick. Get 20% off when you order by using promo code Chicago. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago for 20% off your first set of fruits and veggies from Balance of Nature.
The quivers, the shivers, goosebumps. That's what our customers say before 1 hour heating and air conditioning repairs their furnace. Call us. We'll fix it right, stand by our work, and give you our straightforward pricing, which means no hourly charges. How's that for goosebumps? Right now, get big savings on any heating repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Hey, I'm Amy Jacobson, and I have the pleasure of having Chris Crum, the national host of Power Trading Radio, with me. And he has some really cool workshops on the schedule that you can attend right here in the Chicagoland area. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm awesome, Amy. Thanks for having me. This is for Online Trading Academy. They're the people that power trading radio, and they've got some powerful, comprehensive workshops on the schedule. They're proven, convenient workshops where they teach you the common mistakes that traders and investors make. They show you how they can time the markets with a great degree of accuracy. And you know what they do is they introduce you to a patented rule-based strategy that you can apply to a trading account if you want to replace or supplement your income, or you know what, apply it to your long-term investments to grow wealth over time. $500 value, but they have empowered me to give it away to your listeners today absolutely free.
And the phone number to call is 888-984-TRADE. That's 888-984-8723, or go to tradingacademy.com. That's tradingacademy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Cory Booker's war against eggs. Yeah. At 6:36.
And you may want to hold the salsa. We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
13 degrees on AM 560, The Answer. And the investigation continues this morning after several people were found dead inside of a home in Joliet late last night in an apparent murder-suicide. President Trump's summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is over without reaching a deal to end North Korea's nuclear weapons program. The president explains what stopped them from getting a deal.
Basically, they wanted the sanctions lifted in their entirety, and we couldn't do that. They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that.
The president is on board Air Force One, winging his way back to Washington. Meantime, President Trump's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, wraps up testimony on Capitol Hill.
I am ashamed because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
After a public hearing before the House Oversight Committee, Cohen meets behind closed doors today with an Intelligence Committee. Washington State Governor Jay Inslee expected to launch his 2020 presidential campaign soon. The biggest conservative gathering of the year is in Washington, D.C. The American Conservative Union CPAC opened up on Wednesday. President Trump will headline again this year. Other speakers, Lindsey Graham, John Barrasso, and Iowa's Joni Ernst. A 17-year-old boy is charged with the murder of a Northside College prep student in Chicago. The teen was arrested yesterday on the Northwest Side after being identified as the person who shot and killed 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. 4 crew members on an Alaska Airlines flight from Chicago to Seattle remain hospitalized after a strange odor sickened more than a dozen on the aircraft. That flight was diverted, landing at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. The state comptroller's office releasing $11 million taxpayer dollars for construction at 2 Illinois veterans' homes. Susana Mendoza's office announcing the dollars were released for renovations at the home in Quincy, which dates back to the Civil War era. It's being redone because of a Legionnaire's disease outbreak. Chicago sports, Patrick Kane, the game winner, Blackhawks over the Ducks in Anaheim, 4-3. Zach LaVine had it going on, 30 points. Bulls trimmed the Grizzlies 109-107 last night. College hoops, Purdue over the Fighting Illini. In the Big East, DePaul lost to Georgetown. In the Valley, Loyola trimmed Northern Iowa. The news service of La Quinta Inns and Suites. If you're traveling for work, make your next stop La Quinta by Wyndham. Their spacious rooms and free high-speed internet makes it easy to work, while their comfortable beds and bright side breakfast make it easy to relax. Win at business wherever you go. Book at lq.com. 6:34 is our time. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350350.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
In downtown Chicago, the ramp from the inbound Eisenhower and Ida B. Wells Drive to Lower Wacker is closed right now. There's a fuel spill outside Willis Tower, Lower Wacker and Adams. There are several gallons spilled from a dump truck after a collision. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 29 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 12 from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 32, crash at St. Charles in the left lane. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 432. Tollways are still light. That's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy, cold, a few flurries this afternoon. We'll top out at 27. Currently 13. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Yeah, Spartacus Booker and his imaginary friend T-Bone. It's quite a lineup the Democrat Socialists are putting together for 2020. You've got Cory Booker's War on Eggs. You have Kamala Harris coming out for reparations. You got Comrade Bernie's dalliance with dictators, and overlay all of that with AOC's questioning the morality of having children. How do you like it, America? You ready to sign up?
And don't forget Joe Biden's family. They're pushing for him to run in 2020, and he may make the announcement soon.
Looking at this field, if I would Joe Biden want to be president, he's only wanted to be president for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
I'd take a shot. I'll take a shot with my limited time left on this mortal coil. Cory Booker has had a couple of real moments in recent days. He started with an appearance on a podcast called Pitchfork Economics.
Is this where we hear about his beau?
No, that's previous. This is where he talks about America. This isn't the country you want to be born in anymore.
I always say that my father, if you were in heaven around the time my father was born, even if you were a black guy like my dad, and you were going to pick a country to be born in, the United States would be at the top of your list because we were expanding middle class at a rate that there was creating opportunity. But now, if you're going to be born poor on the planet Earth, the United States of America is not going to be necessarily, if you're just looking to get out of poverty, if that's your only metric, this is not necessarily the top country if you're going to be born poor to get out. And that's actually an assault on the very idea of the American dream. And so I think we need to be the party of reclaiming the dream.
Yes.
We need to be party of reimagining this nation to create great pathways of prosperity.
And the follow-up question should be, well, what country do you think you should be born in then? If not, maybe Venezuela? I don't know.
You're in
What do you think,
heaven.
Mexico?
Well, let's put it out. You're in heaven, as Cory Booker's little thought exercise there. And you can be born in any country that you choose. Which country would it be? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And, the obvious questions, too. Why does everybody want to come here then, Cory? And if they're wrong to want to come here because they weren't born here, but they desire a better life, that's why most people are coming, right, or attempting to come, then should we send them back to whichever country they should choose? I mean, I'm a little confused about this sort of a philosophy that America is this evil place, and this is really foundational for the cultural Marxist. This is foundational for identity politics. That's at the base of this. America is a sinful nation. It's unrepentant, and it's unredeemable except and until and unless we're in charge. That's the whole predicate for everything that these people do and say. So just understand that. But I mean, it's still sort of a remarkable statement. I mean, he had his Spartacus moment. Now he's had his Michelle Obama moment.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That I wasn't proud of this country until my husband was elected president.
Cory Booker won't be proud of this country until his imaginary friend T-Bone can join him in the Lincoln bedroom.
I forget the T-Bone thing. Can you refresh my memory?
He created this fictional gangbanger named T-Bone to talk about his hard scrabble life and the work he was doing on the streets, connecting with people who had chosen a violent path on his rise to power in Newark.
And the guy's name is T-Bone. Okay.
Yeah.
He's down with the struggle. That's who he's trying to be with the people.
I got another one. I got another Cory Booker.
Okay.
Perhaps you missed his extensive interview in vegnews.com.
Oh, can I have my magazine back?
Yeah.
Vegnews.com?
I read it so you don't have to. Cory Booker's a vegan.
Of course he is.
When and why did you go vegan? Cory Booker responds, I think my journey started in 1992. I was just a boy with a dream to be vegan. No, he talked about being a football player and all this stuff.
I would eat meat if you're a football player.
You know what I would love to hear? Who I would love to hear from on Cory Booker? I mean, I'm always happy to hear from T-Bone, but in addition to that, I want to hear from the guys who he played football with at Stanford.
Oh yeah, what kind of player he was?
A person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I wonder if throughout the course of the campaign we'll get any flavor.
What position did he play?
Wasn't he a tight end?
Oh, boy, it's not Heyo.
He's dating Rosario Dawson.
Sure he is.
So am I. We all are, aren't we, Cory?
So is Mateo. What was that guy's name from?
Manti Te'o.
Manti Te'o.
Mm-hmm.
He's dating her too.
T-Bone is not the only imaginary person in Cory Booker's life.
That's what you called a beard, but all right.
What inspired him to go vegan? Gandhi, of course.
Are you serious?
They're on the same plane. I really believe what Gandhi titled his autobiography, The Story of My Experiments with Truth. So I tried to experiment with his vegetarian diet and see how I felt. And it was so energy-inducing that he stuck with it. And now he's declared war on eggs.
Eggs?
Mm-hmm. I think so many of our likes and dislikes are childhood memories or family traditions, and you associate the foods you're eating often with such good emotions. I remember eating eggs, and it was almost like conditioning. My conditioning had changed. Suddenly, eating those eggs after he became a vegan, it became Gandhi-like.
Right.
Suddenly, eating those eggs for me was something that didn't align with my spirit. And I could feel it. I finally just made a decision that I was going to become vegan. I remember my last non-vegan meal was Election Day, November 2014. Of course, it coincides with an election.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's not wagging his finger at you. He is a pro-individual choice when it comes to dietary matters. He's want to point out. The reality is, I just want to live my life in accordance with my values, with an unapologetic authenticity. I think that's what we want from our elected officials. Unapologetic authenticity. Isn't that the phrase you think of when you think of Cory Booker, the guy with the imaginary friend, the guy who calls himself Spartacus, the guy who's pretending to date Rosario Dawson? Okay. Amy and Huntley, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. When you were talking about the question you were asking earlier, and you thought, well, what country would he want to be born in?
Mm-hmm.
The question I thought of, well, what is the American dream to him? Because the American dream to me was always, when I was growing up, is you have the freedom to start your own business, and your profits can be, there's no ceiling. You can do whatever you want. You can make however much money you want. But it seems today all people want is to do as little as possible and make as much money as possible, and that seems to be the new American dream.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Amy. I mean, I just can't get over Cory Booker. I mean, all of these sort of competing philosophies and psychoses, frankly. His obsession with eggs is positively Lilliputian. You ever read Gulliver's Travels? You know, the Lilliputians argue about which side of the egg to break. And then he's got the boo thing. I
got myself a boo.
He's got what country you would choose to be born in.
Has he never lived overseas? I mean,
he's got the imaginary friend. He thinks he's Spartacus.
I'm watching.
He's quoting Gandhi.
Yeah, I'm highlights from Stanford's upset over Notre Dame back in 1990.
He's like one of those.
Looks like he's a wide.
He's like one of those people who gets tattoos like of different philosophical or faith traditions that are sort of in conflict with one another, and he doesn't understand it. Gandhi, Spartacus, veganism, not just Gandhi, Spartacus, veganism, imaginary friends, imaginary girlfriends. It's a lot of turf he's covering. Mark in Plainfield.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So how does this make sense? Cory Booker has a problem eating unborn chickens, but he has no problem aborting unborn babies?
That is correct.
I'd like to see him explain that.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you for the call, Mark. He does. Yeah, it's not in line with his values to eat unborn chickens. It doesn't align with his spirit. You know what his campaign collateral should be? It should be like,
what should it be?
Should be crystals.
Oh.
Or something mystical. Jim in the Loop.
Hello?
Hey, Jim.
Hello?
Hey, Jim, you're on.
You're on.
Yeah, I was just thinking if I was a spirit up in heaven
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering which place to be born in, I wouldn't want the United States because I could be conceived, go through 9 months of gestation, and end up on the birthing/abortion table. And because of him and his ilk, I'd end up right back in heaven again. So I could see where he's going with that, if that's the angle he's going with.
Thanks, Jim. The other Jim, the one in Rockford.
Okay, I got it. Since he wants to be born somewhere else and this isn't the country, he should get some hats printed up that say, "Make America Greece Again."
Thanks for the call, Joe. It was pretty good. Now, he's got competition for the nomination. They're all great friends, of course. Great friends.
Oh, everybody's playing nice in the sandbox right now, but that's going to change.
Everyone is a worthy competitor. Kamala Harris, she sat down for an interview with The Root, and she's an interesting candidate in her own right. She had she's taken some rather provocative positions that, if were she to make a general election, would be interesting debate topics between her and President Trump. For example, reparations. It's not just for Bobby Rush and Dorothy Tillman anymore.
Should black people get reparations?
I think there has to be some form of reparations, and we can discuss what that is. But look, we're looking at more than 200 years of slavery. We're looking at almost 100 years of Jim Crow. We're looking at legalized segregation and in fact segregation on so many levels that exist today based on race. And there has not been any kind of intervention done, understanding the harm and the damage that occurred, to correct course. And so we are seeing the effects of all of those years play out still today.
As president, you would be willing to lead a conversation on what reparations for black people would look like?
Yeah, including things like what we should be doing to take very seriously undiagnosed and untreated trauma. Take that very seriously. And what kind of resources are we going to put in that? What kind of resources are we going to put in communities to help folks heal and be on an equal footing?
Pro-infanticide, pro-reparations, anti-independence, I guess anti-fossil fuels, anti-energy, really, anti-energy independence party. Oh, and also they're pro-dictators. That's Bernie Sanders, Comrade Bernie, right? He played earlier in this week. He resisted the call to suggest that Maduro, the dictator in Venezuela, has destroyed that country. People eating out of garbage cans, if best.
Even they have that
at
right
best.
now.
Resisted the call to make the call for Maduro to step down. And again, Bernie Sanders and his partner in crime, Jane, there, 30 years ago in the Soviet Union, right before it was going to collapse, extolling the wonders of the Soviet Union.
I think it's also fair to point out that when we were in Moscow, for example, I think most of the people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system. The stations themselves were absolutely beautiful, including many works of art, chandeliers that were beautiful. It was a very, very effective system. Also, I was impressed by the youth programs that they have, their palaces of culture for the young people, a whole variety of of programs for young people, and cultural programs which go far beyond what we do in this country. We went to a theater in Yaroslavl, which was absolutely beautiful, had 3 separate stages where cultural programs are put on by professional actors and actresses, including a puppeteer area. And the cost, the highest price of the ticket that you can get was the equivalent of $1.50.
Wow. You can get puppet shows on the cheap in communist Soviet Union. Chandeliers and puppet shows extolling the virtues of the Soviet Union. Comrade Bernie, your front runner at present for the Democrat Socialist nomination for President 2020. I mean, seriously?
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Pending home sales rebound on the summit sidelines. North Koreans studying Vietnam's economy. Those stories and more next.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, MediShare members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with MediShare. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 855-41-BIBLE. That's 855-41-BIBLE. 855-41-BIBLE.
Americans signing more contracts to buy homes in January, lower mortgage interest rates giving the real estate market a boost. The National Association of Realtors says its pending home sales index rose 4.6% last month. The rebound helped by 30-year mortgage interest rates that have fallen. Rates peaked at nearly 5% in early November. At President Trump's summit meeting with Kim Jong-un in Vietnam, some members of the North Korean delegation toured one of Vietnam's most successful conglomerates, looking for ways to improve North Korea's economy. Britain has struck its first deal through the World Trade Organization for a post-Brexit world, the United Kingdom agreeing to remain part of a market for lucrative government contracts with dozens of trading partners. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
I am so excited to tell you about a deal on the already modestly priced MyPillow Giza Dream bed sheets. They use the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in the region between the Sahara Desert, Mediterranean, and Nile River. It's ultra soft, breathable, and extremely durable. It includes full 21-inch wide pillowcases that fit any pillow and deep pocket sheets that fit any mattress. And once you sleep on them, you're not going to want to sleep on anything else. And don't waste your money on Egyptian cotton thread, 800 thread. No, these are much better than that and modestly priced. They're the real deal, folks, that look good and feel great, which means a better night's sleep. And you can still get the MyPillow 4-pack offer plus 30% off pet beds and those mattress toppers. To get the Giza sheet 30% off and free shipping offer, or any other great deal, go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code AMY, A-M-Y, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, MyPillow.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I believe that your company has the answer because I've been through cancer treatment and knowing what it does to the body. And, oh, my, if that's all that medical science has to offer, there must be a better way. And I think the better way is knowing what to eat and getting it. I do notice that I have less inflammation. I feel like when I'm taking Balance of Nature, I'm getting fruits and vegetables more than what I would ordinarily get. I like when I open up the bottles, you can really smell the fruits and vegetables. I mean, I know I'm getting fruits and vegetables.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 20% off any first preferred order of Balance of Nature and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:07, we'll talk to Chicago FOP President Kevin Graham. Preckwinkle or Lightfoot, where will the FOP be?
And how they're still reeling from the Smollett fake hoax case. And later, President Trump, no deal at the summit. Judd Babin will be joining us later. But first, let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Several found dead inside a home in Joliet. Police continue to investigate this morning. A teen charged in the deadly shooting of another Chicago teen. There's a bond court hearing set for later today. Preckwinkle and Lightfoot hit the campaign trail. Blackhawks beat the Ducks and Bulls topped the Grizzlies. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Trump-Kim 2 ends early with no new deal. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The president's on his way back to Washington now, saying North Korean leader Kim Jong-un wasn't willing to budge enough on his nuclear program. Still in Hanoi, Vietnam, here's Fox's Simon Owen.
Chris, President Trump saying sometimes you just have to walk.
Basically, they wanted the sanctions lifted in their entirety, and we couldn't do that.
Saying Kim Jong-un demanded relief from US-led penalties that have crippled the North Korean economy.
They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that.
The president wouldn't be drawn on when he and Kim might meet again, saying it could be soon or it could be a long time. Chris?
Yes, Simon, and President Trump also says he does not think that Kim Jong-un knew about the mistreatment of an American college student who died soon after being released from North Korean custody, Otto Warmbier.
I don't believe that he would have allowed that to happen. It just wasn't to his advantage to allow that to happen.
Otto Warmbier was 22, from Ohio, thrown in prison accused of stealing a propaganda poster. The president's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, wraps up 3 days of testimony on Capitol Hill today in D.C. Here's Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Chris, this last round of testimony is behind closed doors with the House Intelligence Committee. The big day was yesterday when Cohen publicly called President Trump a racist, a con man, and a cheat.
I am no longer your fixer, Mr. Trump.
The president in Vietnam for that summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un criticized the timing of the hearing.
Having a fake hearing like that and having it in the middle of this very important summit is really a terrible thing.
He also called Cohen a liar. Chris?
Rachel, a river that's flooded more than 2,000 homes and businesses in Northern California is expected to start receding today. The Russian River at its highest level in 25 years. This is Fox News.
Gray skies, 12 degrees, 7:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Several found dead inside of a home in Joliet Wednesday night, where police say it looks like an apparent murder-suicide. Shots were fired inside of a home in the 500 block of Whitley Avenue. Police say that occurred just after 10 p.m., and when officers entered the home, they report they located several subjects deceased inside. A 17-year-old boy is charged with the murder of a Northside college prep student in Chicago. The teen arrested yesterday on the Northwest Side after being identified as the person who shot and killed 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. Chicago police are searching for a man who posed as an Uber driver to try and lure children outside of a school on the north side, Elcott Prep East. Students were at recess yesterday when the suspect pulled up in a minivan. The students went to get help after he tried to wave kids over and told them he was their Uber driver. Tony Preckwinkle and Lori Lightfoot hitting the campaign trail hard before they face off in an April 2nd runoff. Preckwinkle yesterday touting her experience, while Lightfoot says she is the true reform candidate.
I'm not affiliated with Ed Burke or Joe Barrios or anyone else who really represents the old, corrupt Chicago way.
Preckwinkle and Lightfoot were the two top vote getters in Tuesday's election. A 4-year-old girl is dead, 2 others hurt following a fire in Aurora. The blaze broke out yesterday in a 4-unit townhome in the 1800 block of Carnation Court. A man accused of murdering California is dead after he shot himself in the driveway of his parents' home in St. Charles Township. Officers were called out yesterday after someone spotted Mark Sippian near Bittersweet Road in Dean. When officers showed up, they heard gunfire and found Sippian's body on the front lawn. Sippian was wanted for the murder of John Moore in Danville, California. Health officials are investigating a mumps outbreak in McHenry County, and Illinois health officials confirm a child has died from the flu in Chicago. It is the first influenza-related pediatric death in Cook County, 3rd in the state so far this year. Chicago sports, Blackhawks over the Ducks, 4-3. Bulls edge the Grizzlies in Memphis, 109-107. College hoops, Fighting Illini fall at Purdue, 73-56. The news service of Boost Mobile. With the money you save by switching to Boost, you'll have more freedom to spend your hard-earned tax return on other stuff. Switch today and get 4 lines each with unlimited gigs for just $100 a month. Plus, get 4 free phones. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The auto show is here, and that means the lowest prices of the year at Joe Cotton Ford. Saving you money, real money. Thousands of dollars is what we're about, and our auto show specials will prove that to you. Like these. New 2018 Ford Focus SE, save $71.21, now just $13,999. Or the all-new 2019 Escape SE, save $6,000, just $21,495. Brand new 2018 EcoSport SE, save $5,000, just $18,995. Or get 0% for 72 months. And check out the all-new 2019 Ranger. It's a beauty, in stock at great prices. Come see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com.
Stock numbers 5043, T9063, T8575 through 2/28/19. All prices plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-597-0315. That's 800-597-0315. 800-597-0315. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Account Temps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis. And fast. Call today. Account Temps, a Robert Half company.
7:08, and let's check the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Latest this morning with Jim Talamonte.
Hazmat crews in downtown Chicago have secured a fuel spill on Lower Wacker right outside Willis Tower. The ramp from the inbound Eisenhower to Lower Wacker remains closed because of this. Eden's inbound delays start at Devon, 24 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 22. Inbound Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. The Eisenhower's 52 minutes, 390 to downtown. 39 from Manheim, outbound 40 minutes to 390 after a crash at St. Charles. Stevenson, an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 29 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 35. Northbound Tri-State heavy, Reagan Tillwood to North Avenue. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
Today, cloudy and cold. A few flurries this afternoon. High 29. Clouds tonight and tomorrow. Low tonight 19. High tomorrow 36. Clouds on Saturday. The high at 32. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Mostly cloudy skies in Chicago. Right now, 12 degrees at O'Hare, 14 at Midway. Next news at 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, Lightfoot and Preckwinkle. That's the runoff to April 2nd. They hit the campaign trail yesterday. Tony Preckwinkle, I understand, is going to have a hit up on television today on Lori Lightfoot. We'll effort that commercial as soon as it airs.
What's saying that she's not ready for the job because of her lack of experience in government?
No, it's not really an experience play. It's, what kind of change, sort of, since Lori Lightfoot's incantation on election night was, this is what change looks like. They sort of go after trying to define Lori Lightfoot, what kind of change, and go through, mischaracterizing, based on what I understand, some aspects of her legal career, involvement she had with initiatives like Fair Map, where they call that like, they term this like an effort to keep Republicans in power. I'm sorry, Republicans in power of what? Are we talking about Illinois? Are we talking about
Chicago? Please.
Like those Fair Map efforts that were bipartisan efforts, but were really spearheaded by Democrats. So there's some mischaracterizations. We'll go through it when we get the spot. But anyway, the point is that Preckwinkle has more money on hand, and she's feeling the heat, because I think Lightfoot is the favorite at this juncture. So does John Cass, as he writes about in the Tribune today in his column. Lightfoot better get some scratch together and get up on the air, because the one way she could lose this, I think, is if she does allow superior resources in these early stages to define her. The same way happened 4 years ago, if you remember. Rahm gets embarrassed, pushed to a runoff by Chewy, but then he's immediately on the air. He's organized. He puts the cardigan sweater on. He apologized. Right. He starts to define. He starts to define Chewy as not, essentially not qualified for the job, and he coasts to re-election. That's what Lori Lightfoot has to guard against.
And keep in mind, this is her first time ever running for an election, and she only put one ad out, Dan, and that was in like the 24th hour. When she walks in the room with her suit on and turns on the light. But she, out yesterday campaigning, said she's not affiliated with Ed Burke or Joe Barrios or anyone else who really represents the old corrupt Chicago way. So, yes, they're both progressives, but she was trying to distance herself, calling herself an independent reform candidate.
Well, she really isn't affiliated with those individuals, and Tony Preckwinkle is, and so that is an important point of contrast for her with a city, I think, that is looking for new leadership. Except in the 14th Ward, of course.
Well, the big thing, too, though, they need they're both fighting for Willie Wilson's voters. They don't care about Bill Daley's endorsement, but they're both going to meet with him, or he's going to meet with both of them and decide who he's going to support.
And who are the police going to support? I would say my understanding, at least, is the enthusiasm for either woman is muted. Yeah. To be fair, Lori Lightfoot and Tony Preckwinkle, as it pertains to rank-and-file police officers, but one of them is going to be mayor, so where's the FOP going to come down? For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined again by Kevin Graham, who is the president of the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police. Kevin, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I thought I was talking about something else, but this is fine. That's what can I answer for you?
Well, yeah, we got to ask you about the mayor's race, and so how do you handicap Preckwinkle versus Lightfoot from a police perspective?
Well, certainly both of them have been highly critical of the police, and as I've said for a long time, the criticism really should be landing on the politicians that got the police department into a mess by not having enough manpower, closing police stations, and so on. It's going to be interesting to see how they want to try and protect the city going forward, because certainly we do have some concerns. I think that President Preckwinkle has to take some responsibility for all the people that have been let out on home monitoring and no or low bonds that have increased the crime in this city. And so she's certainly going to have to take some criticisms on that.
What kind of job do you think Lori Lightfoot did as president of the Chicago Police Board?
Well, we had some concerns because we felt that police officers you went in front of the board and they found you guilty. They didn't get much of a chance to put on a defense. Certainly, we've done what we could to try and change that, and since I took over as president of FOP, And we've had some different people in there representing our officers, and I think we've done a very good job of it. Certainly, she's going to have to explain how she came up with the code of silence, but which I said I have no idea. But I will say that I think that Lightfoot is more willing to discuss the issues than Preckwinkle.
Yeah, right. And you've sort of mentioned implicitly Kim Fox over there in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office and how that's going. I would think, and I would hope, and I'm sure this will be part of your conversation, that Lightfoot in particular would understand that when police don't feel like they have the civilian political authorities behind them, you have a violence spiral out of control as it has in Chicago under Rahm Emanuel's tenure. And so, as a mayor, you don't want to preside over that. And one of the key pieces is that civilian political authority, frontline police officers, they need to have each other's backs. That doesn't mean you excuse misconduct, but as a general rule, for the purposes of keeping the peace, you need to be working in concert with one another.
You hit the nail on the head. The Chicago police officers, the men and women that go out there every day and night, do their very best to protect the people of the city of Chicago. And they need the support from City Hall and from the police department to make sure that they are going to have their backs. And so far, the politicians have not been doing that. And so we're certainly hoping whoever the next mayor is going to be supporting the police. We have never shied away from additional training, from a new police academy, from some changes that would make the police department a better place and make the city a safer place. But we do need the support of City Hall and the mayor, and so I think that's going to be critical. And I'm interested to hear how each of them are going to do that.
How did you receive some of the upsets in the aldermanic races? The John Arenas and the Joe Moores and the Proco Joe Morenos that went down.
Jim Gardner is a very good man. I think he is going to represent that ward very well. The outgoing John Arena was very confrontational with both police and fire, and did not want to listen to the people in his community. So I'm very happy that Mr. Gardner is going to be in there. Hopefully, and I'm sure he will, representing first responders well, making sure that we get the equipment out of the city that we need to do the job, because at the end of the day, we really want to make sure that this city is safe and that people feel comfortable in this city. We believe that's going to attract business, and it's going to eventually do well for the city economically. So we certainly believe that having some of these upsets will help the first responders.
Yeah, just on that topic, with Gardner defeating Arena in the 45th Ward, Northwest Side, this exchange that was made public on Facebook between John Garrido, who's a Chicago police officer, ran against Arena twice, lost. This is speaking to what you were describing as John Arena's confrontational style. John Arena saying to John Garrido, "Good luck collecting your pension, 20% funded. Go write me your property tax check." That's an interesting posture for a sitting alderman to take, to be essentially suggesting to a police officer, you're not going to get your pension, it's 20% funded, and go pound sand. Oh, and write me a property tax check while you're pounding sand. It's remarkable, and I bring this up not only so that Arena's held to account for it, but number two, so residents of the 45th Ward are properly embarrassed by electing him twice.
Well, you know what, and I'm glad now we're moving on to somebody who knows what the issues are and can find solutions. You know, the FOP has introduced a bill down in Springfield that talks about sports betting and for positions, gaming positions, such as video poker, and if those come into the city of Chicago, that the funds from those, the profits from those, would go into the police and fire fund. So we're already looking down the road. Even though there is a required contribution by the city, we want to make sure that the city is solvent. We're looking down the road. We have been at the table trying to find solutions, and I don't think the FOP really gets the credit for trying to find solutions that the city has problems to.
Speaking of problems, one that went away for the time being, Jussie Smollett and his alleged hoax. A lot of manpower was spent on that case. Do you think he should pay restitution?
Oh, you know what? Well, first of all, he has to be found guilty, all right? And, we are not trying to change the courts, but everything I have heard and seen leads to me to believe that it was a hoax and that, yes, he should be required to pay. These detectives, I can't say enough about what a thorough job the detectives did to try and find every single piece of evidence, no matter where it led, whether it proved Mr. Smollett's claims or it disproved them. These detectives did an outstanding job, and the responding officers, to try and find a solution and a legitimate one. And so I give him a lot of credit. Yes, he should be required to pay for all the man hours that were put into it.
How do you think Eddie Johnson handled the matter from a leadership perspective?
I got to tell you, I thought it was one of his best press conferences ever.
Me too.
He accurately described how outraged he was because the things that Mr. Smollett was making accusations about diminishes those people who are legitimately attacked and that we have to spend resources on to try and find the perpetrators on that. And when we diminish whatever crime because of a hoax, it diminishes all the victims. And I got to tell you, after being a police officer for more than 30 years, you remember those victims and how those crimes affected them. And so, it's a disservice to all the victims. It really is.
What do you say, though, to Carmia Tang? We're going to have her on at 7:35 this morning. Carmia Tang wrote an op-ed. She's the mother of Jeremy Alexander Tang, who was shot and killed in Chicago in 2017. The person who murdered her son has not been brought to justice, and she took out after the resources that were dedicated to the Smollett case as compared to those dedicated to her son and other victims of violent crimes, including homicides. What do you say to her from a police perspective?
Well, I did specifically ask the superintendent if any resources were diverted from investigating homicides in this city to work on the Smollett case, and he emphatically said no. These were other resources. I believe that we did spend a lot on overtime on this case, on the Smollett case. I got to tell you, it's heartbreaking when people have loved ones who are murdered in this city, and that the offenders are not brought to justice. My heart goes out to all of the victims because that's hard. Those are somebody's children, and the pain is never going to go away for them. And certainly we have to do whatever we can. Unfortunately, we had reduced the detective division considerably over the last several years, and we are just now building it back up. And so hopefully we can not only get to the crimes that are occurring on a daily basis, but go back and try and solve some of the crimes that have occurred 1 or 2 years ago as well.
He is Kevin Graham. He's the president of the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police, Chicago FOP. Kevin, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
You too.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses right here in Chicago? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll be introduced to our 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Chicago area who want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Chicago is a perfect market for my system, and this week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where we'll share how to get started making money flipping houses and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000 right now, because this free ticket offer expires this Friday. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
We're still in the middle of cold and flu season, but you know what's around the corner? Oh, daylight savings is going to be soon, and springtime allergy season. And the change in weather can cause all kinds of problems with your body and your immune system. So get ahead of it. You need to protect yourself so you can stay healthy and feel better. And the best way to do that is to take Balance of Nature. It's the easy way to get your daily dose of fruits and veggies because we all know we aren't eating enough on our own. Balance of Nature, 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies in a single capsule. There's no preservatives. I know you've heard the testimonials. Maybe you're skeptical, but I can tell you they're real. I've met the founder of Balance of Nature, Dr. Douglas Howard, met his wife and his son, and we spent time together. They showed me the emails, played the voicemails, and the voicemails that they've received from happy and satisfied users of Balance of Nature. So get healthy by ordering Balance of Nature, and don't wait another day. Try it now before you get sick. And right now you get 20% off when you order Balance of Nature by using the promo code Chicago. Go to balanceofnature.com. Promo code Chicago, or call the 800 number. By the way, the operators will answer any questions that you might have about Balance of Nature and walk you through the process. That number to call is 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751.
You've spent a lot of time and energy getting everything perfect with the planning and construction of your new property, but something's still missing. The interior and exterior of the structure turned out as planned, but there's still something you may not have even thought of until now. And it makes a big difference. The landscape. That's where AM Woodland Design makes the outdoors come alive to put that final detail on your build. Whether you're a commercial developer or custom home builder, AM Woodland Outdoor Design will put the finishing touches on your properties to make a complete and flawless presentation that will impress. As always, the expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process and provide quality service with integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com, that's amwoodland.com, or call 847-224-2167.
You've heard me talk about Northridge Prep before and how much I love their paper and pen approach in the classroom. No one-to-one iPads, Chromebooks, nothing. Zero distractions. Well, we talked to a current Northridge Prep mom about the many schools that jumped on this tech bandwagon. Here's what she said. I've heard from many teachers that no matter how many web filters and whatnot you put on it, the boys always figure it out and get around the filters. The boys snap photos, download games. It's a huge distraction. I just don't see the benefit of computers in class. Everyone jumped on that bandwagon, and I think that schools with large funds recognize them as something positive. But I applaud Northridge Prep for not jumping on that bandwagon and really recognizing what's best for the boys, end quote. It's not backwards or antiquated. It's just common sense. Learn more about Northridge Prep at their open house on Sunday, April 7th. Seating is limited, so register online today at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560.
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport. You need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Carmia Tang. She is the mother of Jeremy Alexander Tang, who was shot and killed in Chicago a year and a half ago. She has some criticisms for how the Jussie Smollett case took resources away from solving unsolved murders like that of her son. That's at 7:37.
And then later, Air Force One is in the air. What did President Trump, if anything, accomplish? But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
12 degrees. Several found dead inside of a home in Joliet last night. I'm Mike Scott. Police tell us this morning it was an apparent murder-suicide. Shots were fired inside a home around 10 p.m. in the 500 block of Whitley Avenue. When Joliet police entered the home, they located several subjects deceased inside. No agreement on ending North Korea's nuclear weapons program following the second summit between the president and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Before meeting in Hanoi, Kim told reporters he wouldn't have been at the summit with President Trump if he wasn't ready to talk about denuclearizing. President Trump is hitting back against his former longtime attorney's congressional testimony during an overnight news conference in Hanoi, Vietnam. The president accused Michael Cohen of lying a lot.
He didn't lie about one thing. He said no collusion with the Russian hoax. And I said, I wonder why he didn't just lie about that, too, like he did about everything else. I mean, he lied about so many different things. And I was actually impressed that he didn't say, well, I think there was collusion for this reason or that. He didn't say that. He said no collusion.
Cohen called Trump a con man. Representative Pramila Jayapal is introducing her budget-busting Medicare for All bill in the U.S. House. Washington Democrat unveiled her plan yesterday and said financing the Medicare for All bill will have to come later. It would create a federally funded single-payer health care system to provide care, she says, for every U.S. citizen. The border wall prototypes near San Diego are being demolished. The eight 30-foot square prototypes will be dismantled this week, clearing the way for a permanent border barrier construction project. Here in Chicago, a 17-year-old boy is charged with the murder of a Northside College prep student. The teen was arrested yesterday and due in bond court today in the shooting and killing of 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. A group of Chicago aldermen are headed for an April 2nd runoff election. At least 10 aldermen failed to win 50% of the vote in Tuesday's election. The list includes 40th Ward Alderman Pat O'Connor, the second longest-serving alderman. Alderman Raymond Lopez, Leslie Hairston, and James Kappelman are also facing runoffs. A 4-year-old girl is dead, 2 others hurt, following a fire in Aurora. Health officials confirm a child has died from the flu in Chicago. Meantime, news of that death comes as nearly 200 students at South Middle School in Arlington Heights were out sick yesterday with the flu. Chicago sports, Patrick Kane, the game winner with just 16 seconds left. Blackhawks, a 4-3 win over the Ducks in Anaheim. Zach LaVine, 30, and the Bulls win over the Grizzlies, 109-107. College hoops, Purdue over the Fighting Illini. DePaul lost to Georgetown. In the Valley, Loyola, a winner over Northern Iowa. The news, a service of Accountemps. Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Refinancing or purchasing a home does not need to be a daunting task. I guarantee you can have confidence when calling me at 312-896-2110 or going to townstone.com that our only interest is getting you the best refinancing and purchase deal available, and to make sure your transaction closes on time and without headaches. If you're a first-time home buyer, you don't need a large down payment. We have a 1% down payment program, and Townstone will hold your hand the entire way. If this is your second or third purchase or refinance, let Townstone compete for your business. We've been beating the big banks on interest rates and closing costs since 2002. So don't pay too much. Give me a call now at 312-896-2110. The call is free and so is my time. Lastly, have debt that you need to pay off? Let us help with a cash out refinance. Remember, nobody beats Townstone. I guarantee it. And I own the company. So call us now at 312-896-2110. And don't forget to check out our weekly podcast at townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It was early last week that I felt as though there was going to be a cold coming on. What I did is increase my intake schedule earlier in the day, and 2 days later, all symptoms gone. That was my first real battleground test to see, okay, let's see what this can do. Outside of that, I feel better all health. I noticed another lift that says, yeah, this stuff is coming on. I've had people come up to me and say, hey, you know, are you brainwashed by this? I said, no, nothing like that whatsoever. I said, it just simply works.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 20% off any first preferred order of Balance of Nature and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:37 and a check of the roads in the AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonti.
Downtown Lower Wacker is open again after a crash and fuel spill outside the loading dock at Willis Tower. Inbound Eden's delays start at Cicero. 25 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 30. The Kennedy, 58 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 24 from Montrose, 20 in the Express. Outbound 34 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, 53 minutes, 390 to downtown, 40 from Mannheim, outbound 44 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 29 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishopport, 34. Some delays on the northbound tri-state from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Their tollways are looking pretty good. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy, cold today, maybe a few flurries by the afternoon rush, high 27. Currently 13. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Making America great again with no apologies. Join me, Sebastian Gorka, for America First tonight at 10 on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, we're going to talk to Jed Babin at the top of the 8 o'clock hour about President Trump knowing when to fold him and knowing when to hold him, and he decided to fold him and walk from the negotiating table with Kim Jong-un. No dice, no deal, no Nobel Prize for now. So we'll get more insights from Jed Babin on the particulars there.
Yeah, I'm proud of President Trump for doing what he did. because he wanted us to eliminate all current sanctions.
And
in exchange for getting rid of the nukes. And President Trump, they're supposed to have a noontime luncheon and then have this big signing ceremony, and it didn't happen. They walked away.
So we'll get more of the backstory there. The other big story yesterday, of course, was Michael Cohen's testimony before House Oversight, and it got off to a rousing start. Some consternation between the committee chairman, Elijah Cummings, and the ranking Republican, Jim Jordan from Ohio. But when Jim Jordan was able to wrest control of the mic from the committee chairman, he went right after Michael Cohen, as you would expect a state championship wrestler would.
Mr. Chairman, here we go. Here we go. Your first big hearing, your first announced witness, Michael Cohen. I want everyone in this room to think about this. The first announced witness for the 116th Congress is a guy who is going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress. Mr. Chairman, your chairmanship will always be identified with this hearing. And we all need to understand what this is. This is the Michael Cohen hearing presented by Lanny Davis. That's right. Lanny Davis choreographed the whole darn thing. The Clintons' best friend, loyalist, operative, Lanny Davis put this all together. You know how we know? He told our staff. He told the committee staff. He said the hearing was his idea. He selected this committee. He had to talk Michael Cohen into coming. And most importantly, he had to persuade the chairman to actually have it. He told us it took 2 months to get that job done, but here we are. He talked him into it. This might be the first time someone convicted of lying to Congress has appeared again so quickly in front of Congress. Certainly, it's the first time a convicted perjurer has been brought back to be a star witness in a hearing. And there's a reason this is the first, because no other committee would do it. Think about this. With Mr. Cohen here, this committee, we got lots of lawyers on this committee. This committee is actually encouraging a witness to violate attorney-client privilege. Mr. Chairman, when we legitimize dishonesty, we delegitimize this institution. We're supposed to pursue the truth.
And so that's how it proceeded, or that it proceeded from there, with Michael Cohen getting into more details, building off of his opening statement about various topic areas, from the Trump Tower deal in Moscow to the hush payments to Stormy Daniels to alleged racist remarks that Trump made in Cohen's presence, uncorroborated.
Yeah, he tried to paint, that President Trump would order him to do things, that he would order him to lie, but not say it.
Mr. Trump did not directly tell me to lie to Congress. That's not how he operates. He would look me in the eye and tell me there's no Russian business, and then go on to lie to the American people by saying the same thing. In his way, he was telling me to lie.
Yeah, okay. I just don't know how much new ground was plowed here. I think there's some legitimate criticisms of how Republicans cross-examined Cohen. There's certainly legitimate criticism of Democrats treating Cohen as somebody whose word should be taken, or somebody who should be taken at his word, when that's clearly not the case, per what Jim Jordan laid out at the outset. Jordan also made this point, though, too, in terms of how constrained Republicans were with respect to subject areas that could be legitimately queried. And this was an issue, too, sort of underreported, so I'm glad he raised it.
But you have stacked the deck against the truth. We're only allowed to ask certain questions. Even with that amendment you just told us about, well, Russia's now on the table. You initially told us we can't ask questions about the special counsel, can't ask questions about the Southern District of New York, can't ask questions about Russia. Nope. Only subjects we can talk about are ones you think are going to be harmful to the President of the United States. And the answers to those questions are going to come from a guy who can't be trusted.
And then Jordan reminded everybody, a little historical perspective, how did we come to this day?
Remember how all this started. The Clinton campaign hired Perkins Coie law firm, who hired Glenn Simpson, who hired a foreigner, Christopher Steele, who put together the fake dossier that the FBI used to go get a warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. But when that whole scheme failed and the American people said, we're going to make Donald Trump president, they said, we got to do something else. So now, Clinton loyalist, Clinton operative Lanny Davis has persuaded the chairman of the Oversight Committee to give a convicted felon a forum to tell stories and lie about the President of the United States so they can all start their impeachment process.
And isn't that what this is all a predicate to? By the way, Lanny Davis, we've had Lanny Davis on the show.
Oh, yeah. He's been on a few times.
He's one of the most difficult people in the world to talk to. He is oleaginous. He is...
That's a word with Proft.
Unctuous.
That's a word with Proft.
He is...
You're getting more magnet pieces. Keep
diffident.
I love diffident.
He is... He's just...
We used that defensive play in girls basketball yesterday, the diffident play.
He's vainglorious.
Vainglorious. That's a movie I saw last week with my kids, rated PG-13.
It's a new Marvel hero.
Yeah.
Vainglorious.
Oh, yeah, vainglorious.
But remember how...
No, he was cantankerous. He was just...
Remember how he is, right?
Yeah.
You can't interrupt him, and he filibusters. And then if you have any fun with him or you make any pointed remark whatsoever, he's like, hey, we're all going to be gentlemen and women here.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't attack you. Don't attack me. And then he goes on to give his propaganda. He's just such a difficult
between him
person.
and then Mike Monaco, who's from Chicago,
Oh,
you know,
my
I mean,
gosh.
that's why he didn't take the Jussie Smollett case because he was busy with Cohen. But Cohen was busy bashing President Trump and trying to discredit his presidency.
When Mr. Trump turned around early in the campaign and said, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it, I want to be very clear. He's not joking. He's telling you the truth. He said, you don't know him. I do.
Yeah, you don't know me.
He's telling you he's telling you the truth about what? That he's going to shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue?
No, he's just... he kept saying all along he never thought that he was going to get the nomination. Yeah. And then when he did get the nomination, he never thought he was going to become president. That's why he kept, his irons in the fire with some of his work deals.
And
alleged work deals when it came to Russia, the Moscow Tower. I know I didn't learn anything new. I just learned that Cohen's under attack.
Well, here's the other thing.
His wife and his kids they're in danger, Dan.
What do you think he can do to you?
A lot. And it's not just him. It's those people that follow him in his rhetoric.
What is a lot?
I don't know. I don't walk with my wife if we go to a restaurant or we go somewhere. I don't walk with my children. I make them go before me because I have fear, and it's the same fear that I had before.
It's inspired. You guys go ahead, be my human shields. I'll be in after it's safe to come out.
I mean, a bulletproof vest. I don't know. It was just I was acting like the victim for a majority of that hearing yesterday.
So the problem is with this redemption story of, I did all these bad things in furtherance of working for a guy you Republicans are supporting. And so that's sort of the trick bag. And this is a redemption story. He is lying prone before the American public. He is admitting his bad deeds. He is asking for forgiveness. He's now trying to do the right thing by being completely honest, warts and all. And that's why you should believe him. Except there's a problem. Because old habits die hard. And the problem is that he lied.
He lied a few times yesterday. But
How long did you work in the White House?
I never worked in the White House.
And that's the point, isn't it, Mr. Cohen?
No, sir.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, sir.
You wanted to work in the House.
No, sir.
You didn't get brought to the dance.
Sir.
And now?
I was extremely proud to be personal attorney to the President of the United States of America. I did not want to go to the White House. I was offered jobs. I can tell you a story of Mr. Trump reaming out Reince Priebus because I had not taken a job where Mr. Trump wanted me to, which is working with Don McGahn at the White House General Counsel's office.
And don't believe me that that's a lie. Believe Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, not exactly Trump apologists, right?
And I think the issue there is that one sentence, I did not want to go to the White House.
all of our reporting suggests that's not true.
And let me just tell you that after he said that, I reached out to Reince Priebus. I spoke to him, and his comment was no comment. He said, I'm not getting involved in this. But I can just say, and we all, of course, witnessed this real time, that this president, probably more than any other, if you want somebody in the White House, they're there. Reince Priebus and John Kelly probably didn't want Omarosa to be working in the White House and other people, but they were there because the president wanted it to be so. So if Michael Cohen and the president really wanted it to happen, more importantly, the president, it would have happened, and he wanted it.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to be chief of staff. That's why I thought yesterday was a little bit of sour grapes.
Yeah, and to the extent that that gets amplified, that he lied again before Congress after apologizing for lying before Congress the last time he was before Congress, it sort of shreds his credibility, even with exhibits intended to provide corroboration to some of the things he was saying about, like, hush money payments. It was never about, I mean, the hush money payment piece, the Stormy Daniels piece, was never really about, was it hush money? Did Trump have particular knowledge about the payments? It's whether or not it's criminal. And this gets into an argument about campaign finance law. So there's very little that Michael Cohen was going to bring to the table.
Oh, he brought checks, canceled checks.
Right, but that's not material to the question of whether there's an illegality there. And this is why I just think, despite all the efforts of the D.C. press corps to suggest every Cohen utterance is some sort of bombshell, I just thought it was sort of a running in the place event yesterday for both parties. Mel in Mount Prospect, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, my question is, are they going to go after him for lying again? Or if they don't go after him, does that mean he didn't lie? I was just curious about it. And how do they go about that? Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call, Mel. Well, I mean, he could be subjected to, ostensibly could be subjected to prosecution if there's evidence to support beyond CNN's reporting that he lied about that matter of interest in obtaining a position at the White House. Both the Trump sons, both Eric and Trump Jr., seems to suggest there'd be a lot of witnesses in the Trump camp that could substantiate the claim that he very much wanted a job in the White House, and he was very much upset that he wasn't getting one or wasn't getting the one he wanted. Will they go after him with this deal cut and him on the precipice of going to prison in 2 months? Probably not. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know what? I really didn't listen to that much at all, but the part I did hear is when he was talking about Trump and Trump talking about how he had his real estate taxes lowered in New York and probably around the world. And you know what? We always talk about this on your show, Dan, how Illinois is getting screwed with these rich people or the people that work with Madigan and Burke and so forth. Yeah. You know what? This was a great enlightenment that maybe people, when they do their income tax and they're not going to get the refunds they want because they're not being able to use their real estate tax, you know what? Open this door, peel this back, and look at all the corruption that goes on in Democratic-controlled cities like New York and Chicago. This is, to me, that's what you guys should be talking about. Who cares what the other crap that this guy was saying? He's nothing but a liar. But I guarantee you that this real estate tax issues is going on right now as we speak. Haven't they?
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Ament, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Ament and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Ament needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was singing in the shower, singing O Solo Mio. O Solo Mio. As I was singing Mio, I sneezed. So I'm drying up, and I sneeze again. And I blow my nose. A whole bunch of stuff comes out. I'm suddenly realizing that I am breathing out of my nose the best I've ever breathed out of my nose in years. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden now I'm breathing. What has happened in the past year? I'm a balance of nature. Little by little every day, if I experience it, I'm happy. I'm sure this has to do with balance of nature. I'm sure it does.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 20% off any first preferred order of Balance of Nature and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Oh, hey. Hey, did you hear? My friend's company was the victim of an email impersonation attack.
It's a serious threat to every business.
What if cybercriminals target us and trick accounting into making a wire transfer?
Don't worry, we have Barracuda.
So we're secured?
Yeah. Barracuda uses artificial intelligence to detect and block spear phishing and account takeover attempts.
What a relief.
Don't become a victim. Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other carriers. If you're over 50 and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage every month whether you want it or not. In Chicago, the least expensive PPO health insurance plan under the ACA will cost $572 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $7,900 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium to $278 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $294 a month and over $5,000 with my lower deductible. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, listen up, Scottie Pippen and Matt Kuchar.
Yeah, you better start tipping guys, or ladies, I should say, because we have a Tennessee man. He was so upset. This woman called and she ordered food from a Mexican restaurant, including a jar of salsa.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a credit card, so the tip that she put on was 89 cents. And this guy drove almost 30 minutes to her location to deliver this Mexican food and the salsa. Knowing that he got such a bad tip, he stuck his testicles in her salsa jar.
Sure.
That's got to hurt, though, doesn't it? I mean, I don't have a pair, but I can't imagine.
It doesn't hurt.
It does. But he didn't stop there, so he made a video of the incident and shared it on Facebook. So what he did, the video shows him placing his testicles in the salsa container, and the driver is laughing, and he's like, this is what you get when you give an 89-cent tip for an almost 30-minute drive, and then he stuck his Naughty Bits bag in his pants, put the lid on the salsa jar, and then delivered it to the lady.
Now he can post a video of himself behind bars saying, this is what you get when you're stupid enough to post a video of you putting your nuts in a salsa jar before you deliver it to somebody.
Exactly. And he's still in prison because he can't bond out.
It's still a warning to you, Mr. Pinks out there, though. Remember, most of these people are not going to be dumb enough to post the video. They're just going to do the dunk.
No.
So
Be
just,
nice.
be generous.
Be nice and tip heavily. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Did Trump fold him at the appropriate moment? We'll ask Jed Babin about Trump walking from Kim Jong-un at 8:08.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Lightfoot and Preckwinkle hit the campaign trail. Chicago child dies from the flu. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Sometimes you just have to walk away. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. That's what President Trump says, wrapping up meetings with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un with no new deal. In Hanoi, Vietnam, here's Fox's Simon Owen.
Chris, the summit here breaking up early, with President Trump saying it was clear the two leaders were at odds.
It was a very interesting 2 days, and I think actually it was a very productive 2 days, but sometimes you have to walk.
The president saying Kim Jong-un demanded US-led sanctions imposed on North Korea for its nuclear weapons be lifted.
I want to take off the sanctions so badly because I want that country to grow. That country has got such potential, but they have to give up more.
President Trump saying Kim did pledge that he won't resume nuclear and missile testing. Chris.
Simon, the president says it was wrong for Congress to hold a hearing with his former attorney Michael Cohen during the Kim summit. More on that from Fox's Rachel Sutherland in D.C.
Chris, President Trump called his former lawyer a liar and said the timing of the hearing was shameful.
They could have made it 2 days later or next week, and it would have been even better.
The president said Cohen was not lying when he said he hadn't seen any evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia.
I call it the witch hunt. This should never happen to another president.
Cohen did tell lawmakers he saw no direct evidence, but added,
I have my suspicions.
Cohen will testify privately today before the House Intelligence Committee. Chris?
Rachel, thank you. Amazon is cracking down on fake merchandise passed off as brand name.
The change allows brand owners to delete listings on their sites for counterfeit products. The Wall Street Journal says a new tool will generate a unique code for each product unit. It can be printed onto a package or attached with a sticker to verify it's authentic.
That's Fox's Jenny Casola in New York. Ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street, Dow futures are down 23 points. This is Fox News.
Another day of clouds, 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Several found dead inside of a home in Joliet late last night. Police tell us this morning it's an apparent murder-suicide. Shots were fired after 10 p.m., and when Joliet police entered the home, they say they located several subjects deceased inside. A 17-year-old boy today charged with the murder of a Northside College prep student. Police say the teen was arrested on the northwest side of Chicago after being identified as the person who shot and killed 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. Tony Preckwinkle and Lori Lightfoot are hitting the campaign trail hard before their face-off April 2nd. Preckwinkle touted her experience while pressing the flesh yesterday, while Lightfoot says she is the true reform candidate.
I'm not affiliated with Ed Burke or Joe Barrios or anyone else who really represents the old, corrupt Chicago way.
Meantime, at least 10 aldermen failed to win 50% of the vote in Tuesday's election, including 40th Ward Alderman Pat O'Connor, who currently is the second longest-serving alderman. 4-year-old girl is dead. 2 others hurt following a fire in Aurora in the 1800 block of Carnation Court. Health officials say a child has died from the flu in Chicago, the first influenza-related pediatric death in Cook County so far this season. News of that death comes as nearly 200 students at South Middle School in Arlington Heights were out sick yesterday with the flu. Patrick Kane, the game winner, with just seconds left. Blackhawks, a 4-3 win over the Ducks in Anaheim. Zach LaVine, 30, and the Bulls win over the Grizzlies, 109-107. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, JCPenney is reporting a better-than-expected quarter. Though its earnings were weaker than a year ago, it was bringing in more money than Wall Street forecasts. However, JCPenney says it will close 18 department stores, including 3 already named to be shut down. It will also close 9 home and furniture stores this year. Boeing has a major order for its new 777-9 jetliner. British Airways parent company IAG says it will purchase 18 of the planes and could buy up to 24 more. The 777-9 is expected to eventually replace Boeing's 747 jumbo jets. SeaWorld is reporting a better-than-expected holiday season. Though the company lost money, Wall Street was expecting it to lose even more. TD Bank's business improved in the winter quarter, helped by its TD Ameritrade trading unit. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This is Dan Proft. If you listen to my radio show, Dan and Amy in the Morning, you know that I support life from conception to natural death. You may not know I was adopted. Wouldn't it be a shame if my courageous birth mother denied the world of my dizzying intellect? Because I am adopted, I'm also a strong proponent of life-affirming pregnancy centers like Waterleaf's Women's Clinic in Aurora. Waterleaf opened in 2009 and has provided free services such as pregnancy testing and ultrasounds for more than 4,000 clients in 186 cities. They have celebrated the birth of more than 1,000 babies and have an incredible opportunity to do even more. Waterleaf is building a clinic adjacent to the third largest abortion provider in the country with the chance to intercept 350 to 400 women who abort their children there each month. Waterleaf has raised $1.8 million of the $3 million necessary, but they need your help. Please consider making a donation or connecting them to someone with the means to provide a gift. Every dollar counts. Visit their website at onechoiceonelife.org. That is onechoiceonelife.org. And, of course, continue to pray. We are winning this battle for life.
Varicose and spider veins. Wow, what a gift from my mom. She had them, I got them, and not only are they uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but I stopped wearing skirts and shorts because I was embarrassed and I really hated the way my legs looked. When my kids asked me, "What are those things on your legs?" I was done. I finally went to Vein Clinics of America. The procedure took about an hour and I was right back to work. What they're doing with lasers these days is unbelievable. The staff made me feel so comfortable, and the results, well, even my husband has noticed. Vein Clinics of America has been treating vein disease for over 35 years. They're the largest and most experienced in the U.S. Look, I've been doing the commercials for Vein Clinics for years because I really believe in them, and you can trust them too. The best part, my insurance covered the procedure, so stop hiding your legs. Call Vein Clinics of America now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-375-8900, 800-375-8900. That's 800-375-8900.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-597-0315. That's 800-597-0315. 800-597-0315. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
8:08. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 traffic center with Jim Telemonti.
Kennedy inbound delays start at Canfield. It's 58 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 30 from Montrose, 25 on the express. Outbound 39 minutes to O'Hare. Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 30. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes, 390 to downtown. 46 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 40 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 29 minutes, 90 to the merge, Bishop 437. Westbound Tri-State delays, 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway most of the way to the Adams Tollway. Eastbound Reagan Tollway is heavy, Farnsworth to Eola, Veterans Memorial, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Cloudy and cold for today. A few flurries popping up this afternoon. The high 29. Cloudy and cold tonight and tomorrow. Low tonight 19. High tomorrow 36. Cloudy on Saturday with a high 32. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
12 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
You got to know when to hold up.
Yeah.
Know when to fold up. Know when to walk away. And know when to run.
That's the guy with the chicken joints, right? Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sing it. When the deal is done.
No, all right. I'm glad we didn't come back with Islands in the Stream. That would have been
we
awkward.
should do that as a duet.
Yeah. All right. So President Trump walked from the negotiating table with Kim Jong-un. He wanted too much, and he was willing to give too little. So we're done with this round two of the U.S.-North Korean summit. It would appear, for more on the backstory and whether or not President Trump made a judicious decision, we're pleased to be joined again by Jed Babin, former U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense and a contributor to the Washington Times and the American Spectator. Jed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, good morning, guys.
So did President Trump know when to fold him in this instance?
Yeah, I think he did exactly the right thing. I mean, he could not have done otherwise. Kim is obviously never going to give up his nuclear weapons and his ballistic missiles. And, as Dan Coates, the Director of National Intelligence, forecasted, there's not going to be any real development through these summits. So, Trump embarrassed Kim, which is a good thing to do, and just basically walked away. I think he had no choice and, quite frankly, did the right thing at the right time.
Now, was President Trump surprised that Kim Jong-un wanted to have the U.S. lift all of the sanctions?
Amy, I don't know. God knows I don't know what's in Trump's mind. But I think that he might have been somewhat surprised. It's possible. But in any event, I mean, it really didn't matter whether the surprise was there or not. Both sides were looking for some sort of big media payoff on that. And I think Kim got it. I think Trump got a good surprise and, a good lift on what his decision was. And, I think it goes on from here. It's going to create a very dangerous situation, of course, but no more dangerous than it really was even before the summit.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this is received by the deep thinkers in the D.C. press corps who previous to...
That is an oxymoron.
Well, yes, exactly. That was said tongue fully in cheek. But the previous handle on President Trump as opposed to North Korea, President Trump is as much of a rogue as Kim Jong-un is, and he'll do anything. He'll give away the store, will President Trump, just to get a deal done for the press release. So I don't know how the D.C. press corps is going to spin this development.
Well, of course, they'll blame him now. I mean, they were blaming him for pulling off a meaningless stunt, and now they're going to blame him for not obtaining some great, world-changing deal. The guy can't win as far as the press goes, but again, he did the right thing. And, at this point, there really isn't much point in doing any more summits with Kim. I think Kim has lost face significantly, pardon me, not only towards us, but towards the rest of the world and his own people. So he's going to have to recover. You're probably going to see more missile launches. You might even see another nuclear test. And, things are going to hot up pretty fast in North Korea. But, again, it really doesn't change anything.
Sounds like a job for Dennis Rodman.
Well, did you see? Oh, yeah. Dennis Rodman wasn't part of the conversation this time. Did you see Kim Jong-un when he was smoking his cigarette and his sister was walking around like a subservient fool holding his crystal ashtray? Did you see that, Jeb?
No, I didn't, but I'm not surprised, Amy. This is the kind of thing that he does, that Kim does, and he demands. He thinks himself as a god, and, his generals kind of say, yeah, you're a god, and kind of probably snicker amongst themselves. But he's the prop they hold up, and he is a very powerful man at the same time. And, again, the guy is not particularly rational. He does not give a damn about his own people. I mean, you basically look at the old satellite photo I've got hung on my wall. You know, basically North Korea is dark while South Korea is lit up at night. And, you know, the people are living in the dark and the cold and pretty much starving. He doesn't care. So this is going to be a situation that's not going to resolve itself anytime soon.
Well, speaking of South Korea and Japan, and what much has been made, including by Secretary of State Pompeo, about the good working relationship the United States has had with those two allies with respect to North Korea, was there real optimism in Southeast Asia that anything was going to get done here? Did Trump's decision at all rock the relationships with South Korea and Japan, or did they have a properly skeptical view going in as well?
Well, I think you can't lump them together, Dan. You know, the Japanese have a very clear view of North Korea and the danger from Kim, and I think they're trying to rearm and making some big decisions themselves, including deploying American-made missile defenses. The South Koreans, you know, you've got Moon Jae-in, the president there. He's very much a liberal, and he was trying to make up, you know, with Kim himself. I think there's going to be some discord with South Korea, but I don't think it's going to be terribly serious because, you know, after all, they depend on us to defend them, and we really are not going to leave, and they really can't afford us to leave.
We talked to Jim Carafano from Heritage Foundation yesterday on the same topic, and I asked him the question about China's role here, involvement here, and whether or not the decision to forestall additional tariffs as trade negotiations continue. You had Lighthizer on the Hill yesterday testifying on the topic. He suggested those are sort of independent decisions, and frankly, China would be happy with North Korea denuclearizing as well if that was something that was a possibility. So they're not propping up North Korea per se, but that the trade issue between the U.S. and China is separate and distinct from North Korea, and the possibility of sort of doing a bank shot on North Korea with Chinese help is unlikely.
Well, I can take that apart in several different ways, but I strongly disagree that China is obviously and massively propping up North Korea. I mean, they are producing the trucks that make the North Korean missiles a threat, the missile launch trucks. They are backing Kim. And, you know, the real issue here is whether China has enough control over the Kim regime to really bring them to do something major like denuclearize. They might and they might not, but in any event, they're not trying. North Korea is something that's keeping us busy and diverting us from other things. The Chinese trade deal is, you know, all of the things come together. China right now is quite weak economically. They're needing a trade deal with us, and I think that we can get a better trade deal regardless of what happens in North Korea than, you know, what is going to happen there as a result of Trump canceling the summit.
And
the Chinese are backing up Kim till hell won't hold it, guys.
Well, I guess that's the point, though. So does Trump walking away from North Korea give him more leverage with the Chinese? Because he's basically saying, look, I'm not going to get anything from them. You're no help with them. So that's not a chit that you can play with me.
Well, I don't think that's a chit he can play with them. I think they have really in mind that they hold, $23 trillion worth of American debt that they can try to call in at any time. They are very strong, and despite the fact their economy is quite weak at this point, they have no reason to bargain with Trump any more than they are. They want trade. They need trade with us. I don't think that they're going to even think about North Korea in terms of what they can get from us in a trade agreement.
Now, what's Russia's role in North Korea's nuclear program?
Well, I'm not entirely clear on that, Amy. I think they have been giving help to the North Koreans for some period of time. I can't define precisely what that is, but Russia's role everywhere is to make trouble whenever they can and wherever they can. I mean, that's kind of in their blood. It's what Mr. Putin does for a living and has since he joined the KGB. So there really is not a whole lot of surprise there. But China holds the whip hand to the extent that anybody does. And again, I'm not sure that they have enough power to really change what Kim is doing.
And Trump has seemed to make a bit of a reversal on his withdrawal from Syria. The report suggesting he's going to leave 400 troops in Syria pending the eradication of some of the last remnants of the caliphate, which may be a bit yet. Is that also a judicious retrenching?
Not really. I don't see what we're doing in Syria, except for the fact that we're trying to protect the Kurds from Turkey. I don't know that we're going to be doing that effectively. And certainly if we pull out, the Kurds are going to be subjected to some very merciless attacks. So to the extent that we have any troops there, it's probably a placeholder and nothing more. But the president has said so many times he wants to pull people out of there in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's going to be doing these things. And the real issue is what happens next. In Syria, clearly it's the Turks kill the Kurds. In Iraq, it's a very muddled picture that Iran is going to be basically dominating. And in Afghanistan, you've got China and Russia supplying the Taliban, and that's going to fall apart, in microseconds. So, there's a lot to talk about and a lot of things that we can forecast and some things we can't. But right now, I think the president's retrenchment in these areas, quite frankly, does not have enough thought to it in terms of what happens next.
He is Jed Babin, former U.S. Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, now a contributor to the Washington Times and the American Spectator. Jed, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you happy with what's looking back at you in the mirror? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we'd like to help you with that smile. Whether you're looking to fix 1 or 2 teeth or a whole smile makeover, we can take care of all your dental needs. We have a beautiful modern facility and a great staff. And most importantly, we love what we do. That's what sets us apart from other offices. Let's face it, a dental office is not everyone's favorite place. Whether you're 2 or 102, we make it fun and enjoyable. We perform all types of dentistry as well. Fillings, root canals, crowns, extractions, dentures, implants. We do most everything right in our office. And for you denture wearers, we have a full in-house denture lab and can perform repairs and relines while you wait. We can also talk about adding implants so your denture will snap into place or become screw retained. This is the closest option to natural teeth. We are conveniently located in Gurnee at the corner of Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. So make today the day you give us a call. 847-244-4000. That's 847-244-4000. Or visit us on the web at gurneedds.com. We look forward to seeing you, and remember, second opinions are always free. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg to provide listeners additional financing options and lower rates. Guess what? Team Hochberg is now originating loans at Homeside Lending. Team Hochberg's Chicago-based loan officers and in-house underwriters can approve loans within days of receiving a complete file from their borrowers. In the coming weeks, David will highlight Homeside's proprietary new loan programs like cash-out refinancing up to 95% of the value of your home with a minimum 680 credit score, and construction to permanent loans on both FHA and VA loans. Team Hochberg's new toll-free number is 855-56-DAVID or online at 56david.com. Team Hochberg loan officers David Hochberg, Kevin Kochman, Lynn T., Jose Rodriguez, Scott Ellis, Cindy Piazza, J.P. Marzano, Thomas Byrne, and Anna Eckroth have helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 6761019, NMLS 1124016.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If you need windows, call the exterior experts.
Call Crumweedy.
Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy. Well, they run a third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland exteriors now since 1953. And for them, it's all about trust, and they truly share your values. Why windows from Crumweedy? Now, Crumweedy windows are not offered anywhere else in Chicagoland. They are exclusive, and that's why they can offer a lifetime material and labor installation guarantee. A lifetime. That's a great investment for your home. Windows from Crumweedy are Energy Star rated, unlike most other windows. Also, the vinyl windows are 100% virgin vinyl. You're getting quality windows with a lifetime material and labor installation. Now, if your windows are needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. The name is not easy to spell. Just remember this. WindowsAreNeedy.com. WindowsAreNeedy.com.
After that fine live read, I have another one.
What happens, I think I think you have like latent Tourette's, and when you have to read names, I think that's when it.
Well,
kicks
his name
in.
is Kochman, not Cockman. And keep your salsa away from
That's right.
Hey, we're still in the middle of cold and flu season, and you know what's around the corner? Springtime allergy season. Ugh. And the change in the weather can cause all kinds of problems with your body and your immune system. So you need to protect yourself so that you can stay healthy and feel better. You need to do what I've started doing, and that's take Balance of Nature. It's the easiest way to get your daily dose of fruits and veggies because we have to admit it, none of us are eating enough on our own. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies in a single capsule. I know you've heard the testimonials. They are true. The founder of Balance of Nature, I've met him. He's Dr. Douglas Howard, lovely man, his wife and son. And they showed me the actual emails, played the voicemails that he receives from happy and satisfied users of Balance of Nature. B12. Get your first few bottles of Balance of Nature. Go to balanceofnature.com. Use the promo code Chicago for 20% off your first set of fruits and veggies from Balance of Nature.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, since cultural Marxists like to talk about race so much, let's do so. Dateline, the Virginia Minstrel Party, headed by Governor Ralph Northam.
Yeah, has any movement been taken on the top
Northam,
people there? Northam,
Justin Fairfax, the
and,
Attorney General. I mean, the Lieutenant Governor, and then the Attorney General as well. No, they're all hanging in.
They're being defiant. All right.
Washington Post reporting that the wife wants to get into the act. That's Northam's wife.
Oh, the one who stopped him from breakdancing in front of reporters?
No, moonwalking.
Moonwalking, excuse me.
Right. My big Michael Jackson fan, Northam, as you'll recall. Washington Post, Amazon Post, Bezos Post, reporting that Northam's wife handed raw cotton to black students during a tour of the governor's mansion and told them to imagine being a slave and having to pick the cotton. That happened after
What?
the KKK blackface photo came out.
She's still handing out cotton in the governor's mansion? What is wrong with her? What did she ever sit down now, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine what this was like for your people. I mean, what is wrong with her?
I don't know. I think a screening of 12 Years a Slave followed that. And in Maryland, you heard this about you're familiar with Marianne Lasanti?
No,
She's a Maryland Democrat, state legislator. She apologized to the Legislative Black Caucus in Maryland after she was caught referring to a majority black county as a N-word district. This is, and this is not going in the Wayback Machine. This is not referring to yearbook photo. This is something she is supposed to have said last month.
Delegate Mary Ann Lasanti had little to say to reporters as the House of Delegates adjourned.
Lasanti, is there anything you'd like to say about the Washington Post article?
Release a statement, that's all.
The Washington Post first reported Lasanti used the N-word to describe a predominantly African-American district in Prince George's County. The slur was apparently made during conversation with House colleagues at a cigar bar in Annapolis.
Have you gotten an apology from the delegate?
She has apologized. She apologized today once again before the whole Democratic caucus.
Delegate Darrell Barnes chairs the Black Caucus.
It's unacceptable. And just like we said when she met with the executive board that, we're not that far removed from slavery. So anytime that someone uses those words that come out of their mouth, it's unacceptable.
In a statement, Delegate Lasanti says, I deeply apologize to the citizens of my district, people of Maryland, and all of my colleagues in the General Assembly, and everyone reading this for my word choice. She adds, quote, I am sickened that a word that is not in my vocabulary came out of my mouth.
Well, apparently is.
Well, one member of the Black Caucus tells me it is still too early to tell whether Delegate Lasanti could face any disciplinary action in the General Assembly, which could include a censure. In Annapolis, John Rydell, Fox 45 News.
So,
A word that's not in my vocabulary came out of my mouth. Well, that's an answer.
it's a difficult one to countenance, as is her word choice in the first place. But here's the thing. Where's that was a local coverage in Maryland, D.C. Metro. Where's the firestorm? She's a Maryland state legislator. She's been there since 2014. You heard from I think that was the head of the Black Caucus in the Maryland Assembly.
People are busy with the Michael Cohen.
I see.
Testimony.
I got sure. Okay.
Because it was
No, I understand. The D.C. press corps can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm sure if Ms. Lasante was a Republican state assemblywoman,
and said
that would be the same thing. Hey, we got North Korea, we got Michael Cohen. We don't have time for this story. We'll try to get to it. I'm sure Don Lemon wouldn't be able to make the time to discuss it on CNN if Ms. Lasante was Republican. Okay.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
GDP growth slowed in Q4. We'll discuss it with Steve Moore at 8:38.
And I have a bone to pick with Steve Moore. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Clouds and 12 degrees. Following developments in Joliet this morning, where several were found dead inside of a home after an apparent murder-suicide. Police investigators have not said how many people were killed yet and have not yet identified those who were killed. President Trump's summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is over without reaching a deal to end North Korea's nuclear weapons program. The summit ended 2 hours early as President Trump says Kim Jong-un's vision of the talks didn't match what was going on with the United States.
He has a certain vision, and it's not exactly our vision, but it's a lot closer than it was a year ago. And I think, eventually we'll get there. But for this particular visit, we decided that we had to walk.
The president on board Air Force One winging his way back to Washington. Michael Cohen says he regrets what he did during his time as President Trump's lawyer.
I am ashamed because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Those comments during a lengthy House hearing yesterday, parts of which you heard here on AM 560. More Americans are filing for unemployment benefits. The Department of Labor this morning says there were 225,000 first-time claims, up from 216,000 in the week prior. A 17-year-old boy is charged with the murder of a Northside college prep student in Chicago. Police tell us this morning the teen was arrested yesterday on the Northwest Side, tied to the death of 17-year-old Emmanuel Gallegos. A 4-year-old girl is dead and 2 others hurt following a fire in Aurora. The blaze breaking out yesterday in a 4-unit townhome in the 1800 block of Carnation Court. And a Wisconsin man has been indicted for allegedly causing the death of an Illinois state trooper helping victims in a multiple vehicle highway crash. Cook County prosecutors accused 61-year-old Scott Larson of Kenosha for causing the January accident on the tri-state near Northbrook. It claimed the life of 34-year-old trooper Christopher Lambert. Blackhawks a road win over the Ducks, 4-3 in Anaheim. Bulls edged the Grizzlies in Memphis, 109-107. College hoops, Fighting Illini fall at Purdue. DePaul lost to Georgetown. In the Valley, Loyola, a win over Northern Iowa. The news service of Accountemps, payroll, bookkeeping, and month end. Are you feeling short-staffed? Accountemps can provide accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis when you need them to help with increased workloads. And call today or visit accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 8:32 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says we can learn from the fake beating case.
The damage that this guy caused with this horrible, horrible accusation. If we haven't learned anything, we should learn that the media better stop jumping to conclusions. We need to stop jumping to conclusions. Everybody needs to stop jumping to conclusions. We need a wake-up call.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is going to be here soon, and it's the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Improving your home? Why not make it easy? Don't miss the free Home and Garden Show this weekend only at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Find the ultimate in savings and convenience with thousands of the latest home products and services for the freshest ideas to remodel, repair, and beautify your home, inside and out. Get trusted advice on your upcoming projects as you speak with local and national experts who will help you with all of your home improvement needs. And be sure to attend the free expert seminars and live cooking shows all weekend. See quality indoor and outdoor furniture, amazing deals on mattresses and adjustable beds, the latest appliances by Grand, and so much more. Plus, don't miss the huge plant sale by Ted's Greenhouse. And test drive the new Transit Connect by Ford right from the show. From interiors to exteriors, from decor to outdoor, you'll find it all at the huge Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Tinley Park Convention Center on Harlem Avenue north of I-80 with free admission and parking. For details, visit TinleyParkShow.com. That's TinleyParkShow.com.
8:35. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
The outbound 8 is heavy with delays out to Tower Road. It's 40 minutes to Lake Cook, inbound 22. Kennedy, 58 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 30 from Montrose, 25 on the Express. The Eisenhower's an hour and 8 minutes, 390 to downtown, 52 minutes from Mannheim. A crash at Central, the two left lanes. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 28 minutes, side to the merge, Bishoport 36. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy Lawrence to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. North Tri-State delays from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. Adams Tollway, Elmhurst to Mannheim after a crash. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy and cold, a few flurries this afternoon, high 27. A low of 17 overnight. Currently 12. Next news coming up at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So Pew Trust is out with some new demographic research looking at population movement over the last decade in the United States, state by state. There are 2 states that have net lost population since 2008. Only 2 in the country. One of them is West Virginia, Amy. Could you name the other one?
I'm going to go with Illinois for 500.
You'd be correct.
Thank you.
Very
Ding,
nice.
ding,
Congratulations.
ding, ding. Thank
Yeah, Illinois and West Virginia are the only 2 states in the nation, this is Pew Research, that have lost population. Illinois leading the nation in outmigration the last several years, losing population the last 5. But there's nothing to see here. Nothing that a little statewide rent control, as we talked about yesterday, tampons in boys' bathrooms, dope legalization, and casino gambling couldn't cure, and sports betting. But in the meantime, we're going to be treated to more stories like this out of Belvedere, out Rockford Way.
Yeah.
That huge Fiat Chrysler assembly plant.
Right. 1,400 people are losing their jobs.
1,371 workers, are up to that number, are going to be laid off on May 2nd, according to a company spokesman.
That's going to be devastating for that area.
Moving from 3 shifts to 2.
Oh.
Uh-huh. But Again, until and unless you want to change out policymakers or support different policies, this is the way this is going to go. Now, nationally, this morning, the report is 2.6% GDP growth in Q4, which is a bit of a slowdown. It beat street expectations, but still a bit of a slowdown. So we need to get that China deal inked toot sweet to prevent that somewhat lethargic growth and get back to more of that 4% GDP that Steve Moore is always talking about, 4% GDP growth. Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, chief economist for CNN, joins us now. Steve, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
And by the way, we got 3% growth for the year of 2018. That's something that all of the economists that I debated back during the campaign for Hillary's economists and Obama's economists always said it was impossible for Trump to ever get us to 3% growth. If the Messiah couldn't get us to 3% growth, how would Trump do it? And we've done it. So we're pretty pleased about that. There was a slight slowdown in growth. You're right for the fourth quarter. By the way, that was because the Fed of their crazy rate hikes. But yeah, this is a pretty good achievement to get to 3% growth when we haven't had that in 15 years. So I'm happy with that. By the way, my column this week, Dan and Amy, was called "The Four States of the Apocalypse," and those four states are New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and of course Illinois. And I just heard you talking about the population losses in the state. Over the last decade, Illinois has lost almost 800,000 people on net. That is to say, 800,000 more people moved out of Illinois than moved into it. And I don't say that with any joy. As you know, I love the state of Illinois. I love Chicago. I don't know if, by the way, you guys got to tell me if either of these mayoral candidates are going to cut taxes.
No. One. Are you ready for this? One, and the one that I'm supporting, she wants to increase the hotel room tax to donate to the arts.
She wants to do what?
Increase the hotel room tax by 2% and take that money and donate it to the arts.
Mm-hmm.
That means I'm not going to be able to visit my family anymore in Chicago.
Yeah.
No, you're going to visit your family, and you're going to have the additional honor of funding art in Chicago.
Well, look, this is it's sick. The taxes are so high in Illinois. Every tax is so high. And by the way, we do a report every year, Art Laffer and I, on ranking the states, and Illinois usually comes out around 46 or 47. You're not as bad as New York and Connecticut, but you're pretty bad. And one of the things that we found was that the only thing that keeps Illinois from dropping to the very bottom is that you have a constitutional flat tax, I believe. Is that right, Dan? The Constitution requires a flat tax.
Correct, and we're moving to make that progressive.
I
yes.
understand the governor wants to get rid of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Hey, also, we also have the business community in Chicago proposing an increase in both the personal and corporate tax, while the labor unions are proposing a LaSalle Street tax on financial transactions at the exchanges and a city income tax in Chicago. So part of the problem is it's difficult to distinguish the business community from the labor unions here.
Wow. We also did an analysis of cities that have income taxes. By the way, not many cities do have income taxes, but if you do create an income tax, one of the cities that had the highest city income tax of all time, ready for this, guys? Detroit.
Yeah.
That worked out well there.
Yeah, but
nobody wants to contemplate, for example, Chicago bankruptcy. Nobody wants to talk about an animating statute to provide for Chicago reorganization, to get out from underneath, at least in some way, work out $40 billion in unfunded pension liabilities at the city level, not to mention $200 billion in unfunded pension and healthcare liabilities at the state level. They just think that legalizing dope and sports betting and those sorts of that sort of economic artifice is a way to keep the house of cards up.
Well, the most important thing, I was just reading this morning about these two mayoral candidates. I have to say I know nothing about either of them, so I was just learning about them. And the question I would ask if I had to choose between these two women is which one will take on the unions and the pensions? And I'm not sure either one of them will, but that is the most important thing. This is the existential threat to the city of Chicago, where you have, pension. I read the other day a study that showed that you'd have to raise your property taxes for 25 years by 25% on every resident of the state of Illinois. And none of that money would be used for schools or parks or fire service or any of the, roads or bridges. Every penny of that money would simply be used to pay for the pensions of already retired workers. I mean, that is insanity. Who is going to take these unions on? Will either of them?
No.
No.
Come on, one of them will. Please say one of them will.
This is the governing coalition. You don't understand. This is all about keeping the kleptocracy afloat. So here's what's happening. There's a really interesting piece, Steve, you should check out about what's happened to middle-income families in Chicago over the last 45 years. And basically what you have now is Chicago and ultimately the entire state is going to be San Francisco. Champagne socialists, transfer payment beneficiaries, nothing in between.
Well, look, I guarantee if these folks aren't going to take on the unions, and if they're not going to, do something about the tax system there, one of the things that would be great for Chicago is to get Amazon. And I understand there is some talk about Amazon maybe now that they're not going to New York, maybe coming to Illinois. I don't know if you have an AOC there.
No, they're going to Tennessee. They're going to increase the production level in Tennessee. But Stephen Moore, I have a bone to pick with you because I was at H&R Block over the weekend, and the state deduction H&R Block.
That's a tax preparer for poor people, Steve.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, it's like.
Are you getting a big refund?
No, I'm not because of you. And I was trying to hold my breath. I'm like Stephen Moore mumbling it underneath my breath because the state deduction cap at $10,000 is killing me, and that's not going to. So.
Well,
help. You better send me $7,000.
Many times, Amy, and you know how I feel about it. If you folks in Illinois want to vote for these dingbat politicians, you keep raising your taxes year after year after year.
I don't vote
come
for them.
crying to people in Virginia or or Tennessee or Texas or Florida saying, "Gee, our taxes are so high, and now we can't write it off." The solution to this is for you to have a tax revolt. Dan, I'm going to put you in charge of this.
All right.
A statewide tax revolt to get your taxes down so people like Amy don't pay $10,000 a year in state and local taxes.
We have a revolt happening. It's in sort of a spontaneous order kind of way, but it's very individualized. The revolt is you rent a U-Haul truck and you leave. And
exactly.
That's what's happening.
Well, I have a neighbor, Stephen.
One
of our neighbors is moving into a conversion van, like a Sprinter, and they're living in that because of their property taxes. They're selling their house, and that's what they're going to do. So wherever they go, they don't have to pay any taxes.
I've told you many times. I mean, right now I'm in Arizona, where, by the way, it is 75, and I'm looking out the window. It's nice and sunny here. Nice. And by the way, I'm also looking at the parking lot, and let's see, I see three cars with Illinois license plates.
yeah, exactly. They're arriving by the caravan load on every day.
Well, I gave a speech last night, and I talked about this. All these people from Illinois, Connecticut, New Jersey coming to Arizona, and they said we're going to need to build a wall.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. I've seen some market research by a real estate development company about Florida. And Collier County, which is where places like Naples are, right? You know this.
Where somebody
they actually have the in-migration by state in Collier County, and it's 1, 2, 3, New Jersey, New York, Illinois. That's where all the in-migration is coming from.
Yeah, I get to go to nice places. So about 2 weeks ago, I was in Naples. And what they call Naples now is Chicago South.
Absolutely.
And it's like they say this is the new Chicago, Naples.
Let me ask you. I want to get your reaction to this piece that Ross Douthat writes in the New York Times. The era of limited government is over, and he essentially suggests, in part due to the rise of Trump, that conservatives have abandoned being strict constructionists with respect to the federal government. He points to a couple of op-eds, one in First Things, another in American Affairs, by intellectuals who both conservative bent, but both who imagine conservatism less oriented less oriented to the idea of state as the enemy, and more toward the idea of state as a shaper, state as a harmonizer, consistent with Donald Trump's economic nationalism. Do you think that's accurate?
Well, first of all, if the title of that was that the era of small government is over, I must have blinked and missed it because I don't remember when we did have the era of small government.
Maybe Calvin Coolidge
But,
era.
Look, as you know, I'm the author of Trumponomics, the new book. By the way, if you want to stimulate the economy, buy that book by Laffer and I. But so, look, I love what he's doing on taxes. I love what he's doing on regulation. I love that he's gotten us to 3% growth. He's very pro-business. But, I'll have to say, I'm disappointed in Trump and the Republicans that they are not taking on big government down, Amy. I mean, they just aren't cutting government spending. And when you add the fact that now you have Pelosi running the House, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think this author is probably right. Neither party wants to cut government spending. That's why we have a $4 trillion budget, and that's why we have a $1 trillion deficit. We got more revenues into the federal government in 2018 than any single year in American history. It is not a revenue problem. It is a spending problem, just as it's a spending problem in Springfield and in Chicago.
He is Steve Moore, chief economist for CNN, Wall Street Journal columnist. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal housing lender.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie, people have spring fever. Consumer confidence is up, and that means spending. We want folks to enjoy what they've worked so hard for, but don't forget...
Craig, are you trying to tell me something? I know. Retirement's right around the corner.
Listen, a new season is time for regrowth and building on what you already have. You don't need to do it alone if you have Wealth Management Group at your side.
Spring into action and make Wealth Management Group your go-to partner. And listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
A car accident can be stressful and inconvenient. You want your car repaired exactly the way it was before the accident. Unfortunately, there's an epidemic of poorly repaired vehicles by corporate-sponsored repair shops. Insurance companies are looking to cut costs. Your car may look fine, but that pretty paint job doesn't mean it was fixed right. Did the shop use genuine manufacturer replacement parts? Or take shortcuts you can't see to stay on the insurance company's direct repair list of shops out of fear they'll be removed? The shop that does it right every time is America's Auto Body. They use only genuine manufacturer's replacement parts and are a fully certified manufacturer and dealer repair facility. If necessary, America's Auto Body will even stand up for you in dealing with insurance to assure your vehicle is properly repaired. They're not afraid of the insurance company. Remember, you, not the insurance company, have a right to choose the repair shop. Learn what to look for in a potential repair shop at americasautobody.com. That's americasautobody.com.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare contracts, and in the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare contract, you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100. 800-290-7100.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, seems like an appropriate essay given what's happening nationally with the Democrat Socialists, as well as what's happening here locally in Chicago with the Democrat Socialists. This piece by Andra Constantine at fee.org, Foundation for Economic Education. My family fled communism when I was 6. Now we fear our nightmare has followed us here. They fled the Ceausescu dictatorship, this family.
From where?
From Romania,
okay.
where he was the dictator. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not up to date with the Romanian dictators.
You should consult Bernie Sanders if you want chapter
Okay.
and verse on dictators. He knows and likes them all. With children in tow, she writes, my parents escaped oppression and a lack of human rights, the right to pursue happiness and the right to own property. They also escaped government-controlled death by not having to wait for health care under a communist regime. They faced the threat of punitive repercussions if they displayed any personal initiative or resourcefulness. The populace in Romania that hadn't yet died on the inside existed with the frustration of simply not being allowed to live normal lives. They faced the threat of punitive repercussions on the resources and personal initiative. Those consequences included regular government raids and confiscation of personal property. They were the ones who risked getting shot at the border on their way out, for they wanted options for their children, who were considered the purview of the state, another resource to be plundered. Citizens were expected to reign and exist only to act as chattel for the benefit of the state. It was servitude for the good of the people. Socialism had already morphed into stage 4 cancer, communism. Fast forward 35 years and 4,700 miles, and that nightmare hound is back to nip at the old couple's heels, sending chills up their tired backs, writes Ms. Constantine. It is certain that there is a power struggle over our American resources. They aim to chip away at our personal freedoms in tiny increments until the entire foundation of the Constitution crumbles. Make no mistake, they may blame cow flatulence, but when you have given them the ranchers, they shall dine on the same meat they have deemed illegal for you and me. They buy us with empty promises to enact unconstitutional laws that entrap others into giving more and to tax the bad ones for the common good, ultimately entrapping all of us in the same net. As soon as we make more, we're taxed more for social services that don't solve problems. Socialism is a crabs in a barrel system where the political elites stand outside, watching some crabs pull the others down and the others give up at the bottom. Back under the Ceausescu regime, my father was under surveillance by secret police. He had dual citizenship and traveled freely, which merited him heavy government monitoring. Thanks to the mainstream emergence of extremist environmentalism, militant activists, doxing, extremist legislators, I can't help feeling the pending threat of that hungry hound. Am I going to be made a target in the United States, similar to the way my dad endured, what my dad endured in communist Romania? She asks. Increasingly good questions based on what you've heard from the Kamala Harris's and Cory Booker's and AOC's and Comrade Bernie's and Comrade Preckwinkle's here at the local level, Queen Sugar.
Yeah, she's a progressive's cool now.
And Governor Spalding. I mean, I love the outside perspective of somebody whose family came here fleeing oppression and the parallels they draw. Because it doesn't sound so hysterical when it's coming from somebody who actually lived under communist oppression, does it?
Thank you so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, Quinn McCarthy, our executive producer, and to you for listening. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Go Blue Jays. Now here is Mike Scott.
A teen charged in a deadly shooting involving another Chicago teen. Lightfoot and Preckwinkle hit the campaign trail. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
Coming home empty-handed. I'm Chris Foster.